The Olmsted Falls Bulldogs and the Amherst Steel Comets. That's your matchup tonight here at Olmsted Falls on Keon Sports. We got high school football excited for this one. Cole McDaniel alongside Vince McKee. Good to be with you, Vince. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. This is going to be an exciting matchup. It's also senior night here for the Bulldogs. Vince, what are you looking forward to?
So much excitement in the air tonight. As you said, 3-1 versus 3-1 mixing senior night interconference battle. This one's going to have it all. You have the passing attack of Amherst, the phenomenal rushing attack of Olmsted Falls. I'm looking for all of it tonight. And if you're looking for a new job, swing by Gable Search Group, because this amazing company does it all, not only for people searching for a job, but also companies looking to hire. They are trusted, hardworking, and most reliable name in the industry. Please, anyone looking for a new career, not just a job, but a place to grow, learn, and achieve your goals. Don't walk, run. Gable Search Group, find them online at www.gablessearchgroup.com. And Cole, you know I'm excited when I can plug a sponsor in the opening. And if you want to be a sponsor, CoachVin14@yahoo.com. Email me. And Cole, my friend, we got about 90 seconds to go. I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. You just saw and probably heard in the background there for anybody listening right now. The Bulldogs came out of that big inflatable Bulldog there on the far side of the field to our right up to the middle of the field and ran onto the field. So definitely starting to get excited here. We got a nice crowd. You know, obviously it's still limited like it had been all year, but there's a good amount of people here tonight with it being senior night.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Families were able to come out, so that is something huge for the game tonight. We're going to have some crowd noise, which will be an added bonus in the background.
Oh, yeah. This is, I mean, I was just walking back. I like to go down to the field pregame. As I'm walking up, I just see the fans filling in on the home side. So obviously some extra tickets slipped through the gate this week.
So looking at the uniforms, the home Bulldogs will once again be in their all navy blue uniforms with the gold numerals, and on their helmet on that one side, they have that very notable Bulldog logo. As for the Comets, they're going to be in all white, and they've got the green with a touch of gold there around the numerals as well. So we are about to get this one set in a way. The Bulldogs will be kicking off. Amherst Steel will have three guys back to return, back inside their own 10-yard line, going from left to right on our radio dial. We're about set to bring this one to you here on Keon Sports. Drew Kanaba, the senior kicker. He's had a good season so far this year.
Sure has.
He's set to kick it away.
First time in the rain, he sunk 4 out of 5 extra points that night in the pouring rain.
That he did.
And a field goal.
And here comes the kick. And a little bit of hesitation, a call over the sideline. A little bit of an issue as they're starting the game here, and we'll see what's about to happen. So there's a penalty marker on the far side of the field. Not often we see a penalty.
That's interesting.
Off of a kickoff. So delay of game to start the game.
Wait a second here, Cole. Didn't the ball fall off the tee?
No, it did not.
So okay, I get you. But now, so just from the wow, I don't even know what to say. I'm stumped. I've never seen that on a kickoff.
And I can't tell if it was Kanaba and the coaching staff or it was the officials, and there was some miscommunication here. Anyway, that is the first time we've ever seen it. Ball was not even kicked off yet. Kanaba hesitated a couple times. Yeah, ball moves back now 5 yards. So instead of from the 40-yard line, kick will now be from the 35. And now we should be set to get this one away after the interesting start. It is up near side of the field. His return at about the 20-yard line, trying to get some room, but wrapped up and taken down quickly was George Gotsis.
Yep. They avoided a disaster there, kicking 5 yards back. That could have been real bad for the Bulldogs. I mean, we've seen them give up a couple long kick returns this season. So only 11 yards, and Amherst will start from the 28.
For the Amherst Steel Comets, the senior quarterback Tyler Brazina will be leading the way as he brings the Comets out on the field, and they will try to get an early lead here against the Bulldogs as they are the visitors. Going to be a tough one here for them tonight. This first drive going to be pretty crucial. Joining him in the backfield is Torrey Weatherspoon, junior running back. Wide receiver in motion from left to right. The handoff to Weatherspoon and gets forward for a gain of a couple yards. Bulldogs defense quickly there to wrap them up.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that tandem tonight with West and Weatherspoon, the WWE boys there, and obviously Weatherspoon's brother plays at wide receiver, Ty Weatherspoon. So get ready to hear a lot of that name tonight.
Again, if you're just now tuning in, we've only had one play so far in the books. Cole McDaniel alongside Vince McKee here on Keon Sports. The Olmsted Falls Bulldogs hosting the Amherst Steel Comets. We got a 2nd and 6 from the 32-yard line for Brzezina and the Comets. Brzezina, keeper, goes to the right-hand side of the field. Quickly wrapped up, but going to fall forward for a gain of a couple yards, going to set up a 3rd and manageable.
And Cole, to me that did not seem like a design run by any stretch. I think he took a real quick look and just took off with it. Brzezina, not a running quarterback. They don't have a lot of plays for him to run. So
And that was one where we kind of saw the dominance of that defensive front, which we've seen a lot from the Bulldogs this year, as they can get in the backfield, mess things up. A good read there from Brzezina to keep it and pick up 2 yards. That now sets up a 3rd and 4 from the 34. 3 receiver set to the near side of the field.
Absolutely. They got some big boys up front.
We got some movement here on the near side of the field. That's number 21, Ty Weatherspoon. Kind of got antsy.
He did.
Kind of lost his balance, and that's going to back it up. Put Amherst in a bit of a hole after that false start.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's going to get loud tonight. As again, I take another kind of look through the crowd. It's packed on the home side. That's good to see. I mean, it is what it is. It's good to see.
Following that penalty, that makes it a 3rd and 9 from the 29-yard line. Just over a minute and a half of game time played here at Olmsted Falls. Brzezina drops back to pass. Again, 3 receivers set to the near side of the field. He's got Weatherspoon deep, making up for his mistake in that early false start. He is going to get there, and he is in for a touchdown. And Amherst Steel gets the first 6 points on the board off of that deep strike. That's a 71-yard touchdown, Vince.
Brzezina, man, 71 yards, opening strike. I said for Olmsted Falls coming in, watch deep balls over the middle. Well, you know what? They went to the silence and still got burned. They need to make that adjustment. It's senior night. The nerves are high, but they got to shake that off quickly. Brzezina, he's already shown you a look. And Weatherspoon was covered man-to-man pretty good. All of a sudden, he broke free, got about 3 extra yards there, got open, and just took off with it once he caught it.
And if the football has stayed in front of the Bulldogs, they have been very successful this year. The couple times we have seen them get hit is on those big plays. That time they got hit on a big play on the first drive. The kick is up. The PAT is good. That makes it 7-0 in favor of the Comets here as they are on the road looking to take down the Bulldogs. Both of these teams, 3-1, fighting to get to their 4th win of the season.
Yeah, and, like we said, Weatherspoon made up for that initial 5-yard penalty there in a big way. But, again, Olmsted Falls, they could get in that backfield and create some havoc. But sometimes when they don't and they give that quarterback time to pass, they have been burned this season quite a few times. Anthony Gershio of North Olmsted did it to him last week.
Yes, and it happened there, as we just mentioned. For Amherst Steel, you have to say for them, it looked like they were shooting themselves in the foot. They didn't really get much movement on those first 2 plays, but it was 3rd and manageable. They backed themselves up. What are they going to do? For them, they're thankful they responded with a big play that is a nice, quick strike and a great response. And for the guy who jumped off sides, who had the false start, was Ty Weatherspoon. He just quickly made up for that penalty flag. That is a quick way to turn it around. So 7-0 again here. Just over 10 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
No pun intended. That's how you get out of the doghouse.
That's true.
Quickly.
That's
in the
true.
Doghouse here.
This kick going from our right to left on our radio dial to back to return for the Bulldogs. Kick is up. It's deep. Going to be fielded by Rocco Conti at his own 1-yard line, looking for some room. He's got plenty of room. There's a big hole. He gets past the 40-yard line and going to fall at about the 44. Nice return there from Rocco Conti, as well as some good blocking by the special teams unit for the Bulldogs.
Conti is so dangerous. He really is. The guy could do it all. We said that a little bit earlier in the pregame. He's always one of my players to watch every time we cover Olmsted Falls. Great job there. His speed, just killer. It's amazing.
So the first week we covered the Bulldogs. They only threw the ball 3 times, a total of 3 times. Against Avon, it was a different story. They went to the air more. But it is that triple option offense. They like to run the ball a lot. This one going to be a handoff up the middle to Andrew Parkowski. He's going to rumble forward for a gain of 6 yards. That's a nice first carry for Parkowski as he had some room up the middle.
He's their big man, and even when there isn't room up the middle, sometimes he will go ahead and create room up the middle. That's how they like to do it. They got their speed back in Connie. They have Parkowski up the middle, and Fiskanich could really go side to side.
So Charlie Ciolik, usually right behind the center, hands it off to Parkowski there. Again, he's under center for all those snaps. Parkowski usually in that fullback spot with his hand in the dirt as he was there. Back-to-back handoffs. That will move the chains for a first down. And then also some of those other guys to watch out for. Rocco Conti, Brian Fiskanich, those are two of the main guys who really are in that wide receiver role where it's kind of a halfback / wide receiver role. You're going to see them get a lot of pitches, a lot of carries themselves. There's going to be a lot of pinching in. Not too often you see the wide receivers all the way split out wide like we saw on the first play.
Absolutely.
Here's the pitch from Ciolik. And not much of a gain there as that one went to Jack Pinchek. That one is going to be a loss of a couple yards.
Yeah, they've been working Pinchek more and more into the offense the last couple of weeks, trying to really get him going. And, once you get him going, then you got four guys who can go deep for you on the rush, take the ball, and just go. So, but bread and butter here now, 2nd and 11, and maybe you see a little play action pass here.
So far, Ciolik has not thrown the ball yet. This will be the 4th play for the Bulldogs offense. We'll see if they go to the air. 2 wide receivers out wide, and they're going to drop back and look for the pass. It's going to be a short one to Cooney. Cooney with some space. He cuts back, makes a man miss, and that is a good job by Jimmy Cooney extending the play and getting the first down. That's a nice response there from the Bulldogs after being stopped.
Yeah, it sure was. I mean, he did a little hop step there in the middle, broke a tackle, and really, turned what would have been probably a 3rd and inches into a solid first down. Great job there out of Jimmy Cooney.
Jimmy Cooney, the senior wide receiver. Again, this is senior night. So he was one of those guys that got to walk out and was honored.
Yep.
Here's the snap. Ciolik, back to pass. He's got Conti.
Oh.
Conti diving, and it was just 2 yards ahead of Ciolik. Good job by Conti trying to get to that ball. Nice hustle, nice effort plays he laid out for it. Just could not haul that one in.
Just out of the reach.
Yeah, just out of the reach of those fingertips. You said it right.
But as you said, every time we talk about Connie, you hear that word yet again, effort. He's going to give you that effort, and he did on that dive.
Well, we have seen a diving catch from him earlier
sure,
in this year already. Here on the near sideline, the 40. At the 35-yard line, Bulldogs, the handoff to Parkowski. He sheds a tackler and gets forward. He got hit as soon as he got back to the line of scrimmage, but as he bounced out to the right-hand side of the field, able to pick up a couple yards.
Good job on the second effort again by Parkowski, turning a 3rd and long into really a 3rd and manageable now.
3rd and 6 from the 31-yard line, under 8 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Charlie Ciolik, under center, Parkowski. Right behind him, Williams and Cooney, the wide receivers to the outside. And we've got penalty markers, and it looks like that one's going to be against the offense.
Yeah, they had Pinchek in motion there. Obviously, they were going to go Parkowski up the middle. Interesting to bring Pinchek over on that. Not sure what you do there because he wasn't even going to be able to block anybody on that play. Maybe just a distraction. Either way, it's a penalty regardless. 3rd and 11.
So we've seen multiple penalty markers going against both teams already so far in this game. That's the 3rd time you've seen the yellow flags come out.
I do not think this is 4-down territory either. If they don't get this first down, they would be wise to punt it.
Well, especially after that penalty and getting backed up for sure. Expect this one to go to the air, 3rd and 11 from the 36. Ciolik going to hand it off. Pinchek coming in motion off to the left-hand side. Picked up some yards, not able to get there. That will set up a 4th down and 5.
The reason why I said I think they should punt is I had a weird feeling that they weren't going to, regardless of what they got on that play, and sure enough, they're not punting.
Well, they are kind of in no man's territory. This is either, you punt it, there's not much room for your punter to land it. You kick it, it'd be a far one, so they will go for it. It's marked as 6 yards on the board. It's almost like 5. Conti fighting forward, and that's going to be well short. And the Amherst Steel defense looked like a steel curtain right there against the Bulldogs.
Big stop there by Amherst. They'll get the ball back. Interesting. Threw the ball once on the extra time. They actually threw a twice. My apologies. 13 yards on the one. Could have had a deep ball there, a little far, but other than that, just run. And Amherst, it seems like they know what's coming here.
And that's one thing where you have a team who's more run based. A penalty like a false start is something that really shoots you in the foot more than passing teams, even because when it's not really your strong set, you like to run the ball more. It's harder to pick up those yards.
Yep.
That time it did shoot the Bulldogs in the
Quickly,
foot.
too, on that, they blew the good field position County gave them on the kick return.
That they did. Here's the handoff. Not any room for Weatherspoon as he tried to get up the middle. No room there as he got stood up by the Bulldogs defensive line.
I can't help but wonder, I wonder about these things. With brothers playing together like that, how many tickets do the parents get for a road game like this? 4, 6, 8? I wonder. I'm going to look into that. Little color for you there. Just curious, They're going to get penalized more.
That's true. That's true.
Per player.
Under 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. The road team, the Comets, with a 7-0 lead over the Bulldogs. Here's a snap. Brazina back to pass to the far side of the field. Able to find his receiver. Makes a move. And he could be gone. That's number 16, Alden Steele, to the 10, to the 5. In for a touchdown. A second big play. And that one, 70 yards, Vince. We got a 71-yarder and a 70-yarder.
Unreal. It should have been a 3-yard at the most. They tried to do an arm tackle, couldn't get it, and he just got burned from there. At the worst for Olmsted Falls, that should have been 3 or 4 yards. Huge right off the bat for Amherst.
The first 2 touchdowns for Amherst Steel are combined 141 yards. How often do you hear that, Vince McKee?
Absolutely. Almost never. Absolutely incredible. And if you have Tyler Brazina on your fantasy team this week for high school football, you are looking mighty good right now as we are, 7 minutes into the game, not even? 141, 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
And again, Cole, would you agree that should have been a 3-yard little out?
It absolutely should have been, but you do have to give the credit to number 16, Alden Steele, as he was able to make the little move inside, really put that right foot in the ground, and that nice little cut back, that hop step over was what did it for him, made the defender miss, and he was gone. So that kick was up, and it was good by Adam Henderson, the junior kicker and punter. That makes it 14-0. 5.5 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. You're listening to Key on Sports.
Hey guys, swing by the website, keyonsports.com, when you have a moment. That is KEEonsports.com. All kinds of good content. As you know, earlier in the week, it was the SWC rankings. We actually had Olmsted Falls at 3, Amherst at 4. And right now they are making me eat those words, as it has been all Amherst through the first 7 minutes. And Cole, I did say in the opening, I expected a lot of points tonight. And 6.5 minutes in, it's shaping up that way quickly here.
So, Vince, this is our 3rd time covering the Bulldogs in this short season. We saw them look pretty good, aside from putting the ball on the floor a couple times against Midview in that first game. Yeah, a little bit of sloppiness, especially with the weather as well. They were rolling. They looked good against Avon. They looked good as well. Just barely lost that heartbreaker. Here, a bit of a slow start tonight. What do they have to do to turn this around against the Comets?
Wrap up tackles, number 1. The second, they have anybody in their grasp, go for the legs, do whatever you can. No more big plays on defense. On offense, stick to the script. They've only had the ball once. Give it time.
The squib kick picked up by the Bulldogs at the 30-yard line, brought out for about 5 extra yards. So they will be setting up from their own 35-yard line with their second drive already down. 14-0. Time for the Bulldogs to respond. So again, Charlie Ciolik coming out for the offense. Kind of mentioned it. It's one of those things where we saw them pass more against Avon. Will they start to pass now with it being 14-0? We'll see. Or will they stick to their run game? That will be to be determined, as we will find out right now.
Yeah, I think
they're going to do.
I think they're going to go back to their run. And no need to panic yet. It's really early.
Here's the handoff. That pitch to Rocco Conti. He's got some space here on the near side of the field, past the 50 to the 45, and brought down by the legs. And Rocco Conti, one thing that he not only has in addition to the vision is he's quick at hitting the open holes. And right there, he showed it again, as that was a nice gain of about 26, 27 yards.
Absolutely, and he has all that, no doubt about it. But I actually want to shout out the Amherst player there. A phenomenal tackle at the ankles to pull him down. Really hit him hard there. That's a good, hard-hitting tackle. And Amherst has been doing that so far. They've been wrapping him up.
Ciolik. Here's the handoff to Parkowski up the middle. Immediately stumbling to the ground as soon as he got that handoff, but he fell forward for about 3 yards.
Yep. Officially, they're going to mark it about 2 there. But, yeah, positive yards on every play is what Olmsted Falls needs right now. Just a little bit at a time. It's only 2 touchdowns. They got all kinds of time. Positive yards. No penalties, no sacks, nothing like that. Just keep moving forward here.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. No reason to panic at this point. Still the first quarter. But they would like to put some points on the board, obviously, here on this drive, continuing to just move the ball forward. So you'll look, the keeper, the pitch, onto the far side of the field, into the open space. Number 21, Michael Kando, and he is in to the end zone. Nice pitch. Great read there by Ciolik, and the blocking up ahead. And Kando, he took that one into the end zone and pulling the Bulldogs right back 14-6 now here in Olmsted Falls.
Amazing job there by Ciolik to sell that play. I bit big time up here thinking Parkowski had it. Ciolik fools me again, does that little pitch out. And, you know, I'm fond of saying it's been Olmsted Falls with the 3-headed monster. Once you get Pinchek and Kandau going, that's a 5-headed monster. I mean, this team is just ridiculous when they can run the ball that well.
When you mention it, there's several guys you just know who it's going to go to. It's just one of those situations. Where is it going to go? Is it going to be a keeper? Is it going up the middle? Is it going to be a pitch? As you see a lot of those pitches happen. And there's a multitude of guys. There's really 4 that get those pitches. You see Fiskanich, Pinchek, Rocco Conti, as well as Kandau. Those 4 guys, it's a matter of who's actually going to get it. Are they going left to right, right to left? You never know, and that is hard to follow sometimes.
No doubt about it.
The PAT was up. It's good, making it 14-7. Bulldogs still trailing at home on senior night to the Amherst Steel Comets.
Now, for you, and check this out. Now, 15-yard penalty by Amherst is really going to move this kickoff way up. Does Coach DeLuca right now get a little crafty? Do we see an outside kick out of nowhere? Stranger things have happened in the first quarter when no one sees it coming. Because they're going to have to move this up to the figure 15 yards, right about the 50.
You know what I've always wondered? And it's going to be interesting here bringing it up on this broadcast. We'll see what you think. Why does everybody get the onside kick wrong, in my opinion? And this is coming from a former soccer player. You know, the onside kick, everybody, they kick it straight into the ground, and, you know, they're trying to get a bounce off of it. Why don't you have your kicker go up and kind of scoop it up in the air? And so it hangs up in the air for a good couple seconds for people to run on. As long as it goes past 10 yards, you're okay.
If he knows how to do it, yeah, put it right up in there. You can't
put it right up in the air. Let it hang up there a little bit.
I'll be honest with this one. I don't know the fair catch rules. Maybe you can't because the other team's going to call for a fair catch.
I don't know.
But then they better catch it. If they don't, it bobbles off of them, then it's mayhem. So, yeah, why not try it? I agree with you.
As long as it goes 10 yards, you can jump up there and try to grab it before somebody else. This kick way past the back of the end zone. This will be a touchback, and that was, of course, aided by the Amherst Steel penalty. So now from the 20-yard line, Amherst Steel will be coming out once again. If you're just now tuning in, the Comets have a 14-7 lead over the Bulldogs. They got the first 2 touchdowns on the board off of a combined 141 yards worth of touchdown plays. The first one was a 71-yarder to Ty Weatherspoon. The last one from Tyler Brazina was a 70-yard touchdown to Alden Steele, led by Alden Steele's nice cutback on that far side of the field. So,
8 minutes in, 21 points. I think my prediction of a high-scoring first half is shaping up nicely.
Well, so far, Vince, it is definitely shaping up that way. 3-receiver set. Here's Brazina taking the snap, rolling to the right-hand side, looking at the far side of the field, delivers a strike to his receiver, and that is a first down. Ty Weatherspoon once again pulling it in. He is one of the favorite targets of Brazina.
Good job there on the wrap-up tackle by Olmsted Falls. I don't know if they can hear me up here, but, yeah, great job on that one.
So Brazina, plenty of protection there from the big Amherst Steel offensive line.
They're not flocking to the ball on defense either.
No.
Those guys on an island. If he breaks that tackle, he's gone again.
That's something we've seen from the Bulldogs. They usually flock to it a little slow tonight. We'll see if that can change. Here's the handoff up the middle, and that one's stuffed. The defensive front is able to bring it. The secondary's been the one struggling so far to this point. I do have to point out one person I do not see down there for the Bulldogs. Again, he's a guy who is a senior. I've been impressed with the way he plays. He is a hard-hitting defensive back, Nick Hearn.
Yeah.
Not back there in the secondary today on the sideline. That could also be a crucial factor for the Bulldogs, as he usually, not the biggest guy, but he flies up and makes a ton of tackles. Again, he's not in there here tonight for the Bulldogs.
Great observation. Great observation is all I can say. I didn't even notice that.
Brazina, the strike up the middle. That one's going to be incomplete. The linebackers recovering and able to get their hand in there. Looked like the first one there was actually Adam Varga, the defensive back, number 32 for the Bulldogs.
He's had
nice
a good
coverage.
Season too. Varga's had a great season. He really has.
That he has.
I mean, you look at the other games they've played in so far. They've done a good job of shutting down the attacks. North Olmsted put a few points up on them. North Ridgeville did absolutely nothing. But yeah, I mean they've held in there.
So the last 3rd and long for the Comets turned into a monstrous touchdown. Right here, 3rd and 12 from the 37-yard line. Amherst Steel looking to do the same thing that they did earlier. 3 receivers set to the near side of the field. Blitz shown by the Bulldogs. Brazina, guy get away. Far side of the field. He overthrows his intended target. That's number 4, Casey Hamrick, just out of his reach, close to the 50-yard line. And that sets up a 4th and 12 from 37. The Bulldogs defense comes up big.
Yeah, and Casey Hamrick's a 3-year starter. I've been following this kid for years. If you just put it within his range, he's usually going to catch balls like that. However, even with as good as Hamrick is, even he can't pogo up that high and catch that ball.
Jimmy Cooney and Rocco Conti back to return, set up at their own 25-yard line. Amherst Steel on the far side hash marks, looking to punt this one away again from their own 37-yard line. Just under 3 minutes left to go here in the first quarter in Olmsted Falls.
Brazina now 3 of 5 for 160 yards.
Here's the whistle, and we've got penalty markers back here. That's going to be a delay of game, setting back Amherst Steel for 5 yards. That's one of those where I don't necessarily think it was intentional, because you didn't really need to give yourself any room there. So just maybe some miscommunication there. And that's the second time we've seen a delay of game on special teams.
Interesting.
So the punt is up. It's high. Fair catch. Jimmy Cooney able to pull that one in at the 38-yard line. And that's where the Bulldogs will come out and start. They're down by a touchdown, looking to put up more points on the board and even this one up.
And fans, you heard in the opening, we did that excellent read there for Gable's Search Group. You know, we have so many sponsors and still time to go in 2020. You know, at least 2 or 3 more weeks, we're going to be broadcasting football games. We'll slide into basketball, all kinds of opportunities. And Gable Search Group came on as our Ohio State Buckeye sponsor. Email me, Vince McKee, coachvin14@yahoo.com. Join the team.
Ciolik, the handoff. He's got Conti. Conti, a burst of speed up through the middle, and that's going to be another first down. Speaking of the Buckeyes, as you mentioned, college football, not only is the Big Ten back, we've obviously mentioned that in past years. Pac-12 just announced they will be coming back, and we got some action.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We finally got the action.
You know, I'm a Mac guy all the way. I love me some Tuesday night football with 20 people in the crowd. Bring it to me.
Vince McKee is a big Mac guy. He's excited about that decision.
There's Viscanich in the game.
Here's Ciolik, and he slips, and he's wrapped up and taken down. Yeah, you mentioned it. You were pointing in a different direction. I was looking at the quarterback. He was getting taken down hard in the backfield. Ciolik wrapped up. That's going to be a big loss back to their own 40-yard line. They've got a country mile to get to this first down.
Yeah, first time we've seen Viscanich tonight put him in motion. Ciolik, I don't know if it was a miscommunication or what, but to me, that didn't really look like a pass play. Just a miscommunication as Ciolik just ran with the ball and didn't know what to do with it almost. Before he even had a chance to blink, there was an Amherst guy in him, though, too. So,
minute and 45 seconds left in the first quarter. The handoff to Parkowski, just trying to clear some room. A gain of 2, if that, falling forward. Defense quickly collapsing on the handoff up the middle, setting up a 3rd and 18 from the 42. And this is one where this is an interesting play call for the coaching staff. Your bread and butter is the run, but from 3rd and 18, it's kind of time to hit the air. So we'll see what they actually try to do here.
They need to get the ball in the hands of Rocco Conti more in this first half. He's really only got gash in the Comets right now. They can't compete with his speed at this point. Get the ball to Conti. Here's Viscanich in motion again.
Right now, Conti not on the field for this play. Ciolik rolling to his right-hand side. Got to get away from the pressure. Cooney pulls it in, gets back to the sticks, but that's going to be well short. A 4th and 10 now.
Yeah, and he really set Cooney up to get blasted there. I know obviously Ciolik has no choice. He's got to throw the ball. But Cooney, man, that's a dangerous play there. Goes up, gets drilled in the lower back. He's now taken 2 vicious hits already tonight, Cooney has.
That he did. They gave him an extra yard, making it a 4th and 9 from the 49-yard line. We're under a minute, and the punt is going to be for the Bulldogs by Drew Kanaba. Kanaba standing at his own 36. The snap, and the kick is up. It's hanging up there, going to be fielded right around the 15-yard line, and quickly brought down. And Rocco Conti, again, the guy's just a football player.
My man.
He is just an absolute football player, a stud, the quick tackle.
And not only that, I'll say this, Cole, that was a dangerous catch. I would have let that thing I would either call the fair catch or let it roll. I mean, boy, what are you doing? Like, he caught it, had a split second before Conti was on him.
Well, I think that's one where you do have to give the fair catch because the spot that it was landing, you can't just let it go because obviously it could pin you even deeper, but that is definitely one to fair catch it. But Rocco Conti, nice hustle plays. He was one of the gunners there and got down there quickly for the Bulldogs. Here's the handoff up the middle. Looked like there was a little bit of room, but an arm tackle pulled back the running back. The Bulldogs able to make the stop. They're on first down. Only a gain of a couple for the Comets.
I mean, they blew it up pretty quick. Good job recovering there. Linebacker stepped up on that one.
So that will be the last play of the first quarter. That's going to do it for the first quarter. Amherst Steel with a 14-7 lead over the Olmsted Falls Bulldogs. So that we're going to be flipping ends of the field as once again Amherst Steel now going to have a 2nd and 5 from the 24-yard line on the other side of the field. Good first half here. Again, Cole McDaniel alongside Vince McKee. Just a reminder, as we are switching to the second quarter, we've got halftime in our sights. So we've still got 12 minutes of game time left here. But a reminder that we're going to go over some local scores. We've got some beat reporters out there covering other games. We will update you about those as well as talk about our wonderful sponsors. So make sure to tune in to that at halftime. Also, on Twitter, we got Vince over here operating the Key on Sports Twitter. Again, Sports Key on Twitter. You can check out the updates of the score here. Also, he's retweeting what the beat reporters are putting out there if you want to know what's happening around the SWC and other places, as we got plenty of football games here on Friday night. Again, just a reminder as well, again, shortened season, we mentioned it before, we're getting close to playoff time. We are in week 5 already. We've only got one more week of regular season, and then we start hitting the postseason. Again, every team makes the postseason this year. The playoffs, they're going to be pretty long because of that. Yeah. It's going to be a ton of teams in there. Fun. There's going to be a lot of teams who don't usually get in the postseason, and they've got an opportunity to try to make something happen. Now, we've still got regular season football here. Second quarter starting right now. Comets, again, that 14-7 lead. Brzezina, he's got a receiver in motion. He hands it off to the far side. Getting forward was Alden Steele. Alden Steele, the target who pulled in that second touchdown in the game for the Comets. That time on the jet sweep, able to pick up a positive gain, setting up a very manageable third down. And actually, we've got a penalty flag here. Going to be holding against Amherst. That's a 10-yard penalty going to set them back. That hurts after a nice pickup.
Moves the football to the 15-yard line.
Still's got that speed. All he needs is a little bit of open room. And guys, Cole mentioned it there. Check us out on Facebook as well at Keon Sports. And if you ever need to get a hold of Cole, I will go ahead and tag him so you have no worries. You're going to see him everywhere I go.
Yeah, just constant spamming on my social media here from Vince McKee. Always got to give him some flack. Here's Brzezina throwing the pass out here to Steele. Steele makes a guy miss, and he gets to the first down. Alden Steele, once again, doing what he does well in open space. After he catches the ball, gets his head upfield, and makes the defensive backs miss. That one was a 2nd and 14 from the 15-yard line. Now the Comets up to close to the 35-yard line.
And I'll tell you what, Amherst coming off their first loss of the season last week against Avon Lake, lost 21-7, showed a lot of promise in that game. They came in tonight, said, hey, we're not an underdog.
And Brzezina, a keeper. And I think that was one of those where he had a receiver coming in motion. It was supposed to be a jet sweep. It looked like there was some miscommunication. Brazina ended up having to keep it. You could tell he didn't want to keep it. And the reason why? A defender was in the backfield, and he got blown up pretty quickly. That is a loss of 3. Now 2nd and 13 from 32.
That front 3 of Olmsted Falls is one of the best I've seen. We talked about it last week with Mentor. Their Mentor's big, front 4, front 3, all of them, offense and defense. Olmsted Falls has a lot of those same characteristics.
3 receivers set to the far side of the field. The blitz being shown from Olmsted Falls up the middle by the linebackers. Brazina back to pass. He's got some time. Throws a deep pass, and that one there was pretty interesting because it looked like it was in double coverage. He had a wide receiver. You got Torrey Weatherspoon streaking down the middle of the field, and R.J. Simon, the defensive back, looked like he almost kind of grabbed onto Weatherspoon before the ball got there. No penalty marker there by the officials. Bulldogs get away with it.
And I was going to say, too, that's a good no call on that one. 2 reasons. 1, I think the pass was not catchable completely. And 2, I just don't think it was holding. It was close. It was contact.
It was close. There was contact before the ball, but the officials say no. And for the Bulldogs, that's a good thing because it's now a 3rd and long for the Comets. Brazina back to pass. He finds Weatherspoon up the middle. And Ty Weatherspoon, really good job. Not only pulling that one in up the middle, but also not like a big hurdle, but he was able to avoid the defender and jump forward as he kind of did like a little Superman dive there and stretched forward for an extra 5 yards. That now puts them on Bulldogs side of the field from the 48-yard line.
Right. I'm sorry. We talked about a good no call there with Olmsted Falls. Amherst just got away with one, too, a no call. There was major holding, major, on Brazina's left side there. But, hey, it's football. There's holding on every play.
So Brazina back in the gun. He's going to hand this one off up the middle. Rumbling forward, Jonathan West, number 27, picks up a nice gain for the Comets.
About time we've seen him. He came in as their feature back. They've actually gone to Torrey Weatherspoon much more tonight. But, hey, there's Jonathan West getting some touches.
Yeah, he hasn't really had many touches so far, but it's been mostly the passing game as you kind of expected with Amherst Steel coming into this one. 2 receivers on the far side of the field, 1 on the near side of the field. Brazina back in the gun, running back to his left-hand side, claps his hands, takes a look over to the sideline, waiting for the call to come in. 9 minutes and 15 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. Snap to Brazina, rolling to the left-hand side, pressure from behind. He gets hit, taking the ground as soon as he releases that one, but he's able to find a receiver on the far side of the field. That was Ty Weatherspoon who pulled it in. We got a penalty marker back at about the 29-yard line. We're going to see what this one's for.
Might be a face mask here on the tackle. Let's see what they say. Well, they are backing up so I might be wrong. It looked like a face mask.
Being talked over by the officials here.
What is it here?
No penalty on the play.
No penalty. They picked up the flag, Cole.
Yep, flag is picked up.
First down, Comets.
So first down now for the Comets. Is they're up to the 34-yard line.
And everybody in the chat room, we see you, and we want to thank you. I see where T-Mart just shared the show. Thank you so much, T-Mart. Guys, continue to share the show. Welcome, Bridget. Welcome, Mr. Smith, 8156. Guys, we are so happy you're joining us tonight. Spread the word.
8 minutes and 45 seconds left to go here in the second quarter at Olmsted Falls. The Comets still with a 7-point lead. Here's the handoff, far side of the field. Weatherspoon to the 5 and in for a touchdown. Torrey Weatherspoon being that main feature back right now in this game. Wide open gap. He hits it to the far side of the field. Another big play. Gashes the Bulldogs defense.
Absolutely beautiful run there by Weatherspoon. Phenomenal cutback, got a few yards in, saw the hole. Excellent second step right around that edge and was gone. And we said it coming in. Watch out for the speed of the Weatherspoon brothers. Watch out for the speed of Amherst. They're showing you tonight. They are here to play. They are here to win.
For the Comets fans out there, tell you what, you've got some big play ability and some speed on your team on the offensive side of the field. That is a solid offensive attack that we're seeing here in the first half. The PAT is up and blocked, so that will keep it 20-7 in favor of the Comets. 8.5 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Bulldogs now looking to respond here at home. Again, both of these teams coming into the matchup 3-1. They're fighting for the first team to get to 4 wins of the 2 of them here in this matchup. It's a big SWC matchup. It's one where these are two pretty comparable teams. You look at some of the other teams in the conference. You look at Avon Lake, Avon, two teams we've covered as well. You would probably say they're the two strongest teams right now in the SWC. They're both very strong. They're both tough. These two teams right here are really, really close, nipping at their heels as kind of those third and fourth best teams in the conference. I mean, you've also got North Olmsted's been pretty good. You've got pretty good teams in the SWC. It's a competitive conference.
It is, but look at it like this: both teams 3-1 right now. Okay, Comets next week. They're going to host North Olmsted at home. Senior night for the Comets. That's the game they're probably going to win.
Right.
Olmsted Falls. I'll just say it: they're going to have their hands full with Avon Lake. They might not win that one. Olmsted Falls cannot drop this game tonight. Olmsted Falls drops this game tonight. All of a sudden, they're staring at a very, very possible 3-3 record. Amherst, their schedule was a little bit lighter. I'll say it. It just was. They only had to play one of the Avon teams.
Right.
So if they beat Olmsted Falls tonight, all of a sudden Amherst next week is playing for a 5-1 record going into the playoffs. I mean, tonight's it's crucial.
Yeah, and this kick going to be out, and that's going to be a legal procedure. But I will tell you what, for Amherst Steel, you put it nail on the head right there. That is for sure. Fortunate for Amherst Steel not to have to see both of the Avon teams because Avon Lake and Avon, both very strong teams. They're both very good. These two teams also pretty solid. We've got a great matchup here tonight. This one very scoring based, scoring focused. We've got 27 points so far on the board and plenty of time still here in the second quarter. Two receivers set to the far side of the field. Actually, we've got four receivers on the field wide for the Bulldogs as they're trying to spread it out. Handoff to Parkowski, rumbling forward. Gets 10 yards and more. Gain of 19 now for Parkowski and the Bulldogs, and that might have been the plan. Four receivers spreading out the field, and that opened up that hole for Parkowski up the middle. They're going to go back to the well again. Rumbling forward, getting some space, and Parkowski getting forward again off of that four receiver set. So the Bulldogs having some success right now with Parkowski up the middle.
No doubt about it. And Cole, if I could say one more thing, and then I'll close the point for good tonight. We're talking about the records. We're talking about possible 5-1 for Amherst, 3-3 for Olmsted Falls. This is why I wish there was a 10-game season. We'll take what we get. I do not want to be greedy, but that's the biggest difference of there not being a 10-game regular season.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Here's the handoff once again to Parkowski up the middle. Offensive line working hard. Parkowski keeping the legs churning. A first down once again for the Bulldogs, and they're making quick movement down the field as they're trying to cut into this deficit.
They sure are. They're one of the few teams I know who can run a hurry-up offense and still run the ball every play.
Yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true. Again, sticking with that four receiver set. It's working right now. This time they're going to throw it out to Candow on the far side of the field. Tries to make a guy miss. A nice wrap-up tackle there for the defensive back of Amherst Steel, pulling him down before the first down marker. That's going to now be a second and short.
6 yards for the 25, 2nd and 4.
So we're down to 7 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Again, Cole McDaniel alongside Vince McKee. If you're just now tuning in on Key on Sports, thank you for listening. Make sure to share the link, share the show. We can get some more listeners here as well as we're bringing you this exciting high school football action. Back judge throwing the penalty marker up in the air, and that is going to be a false start.
Yeah, it's the one thing they can't do. They're a very successful drive, moving the ball, moving it quickly, and that is the last thing they need right now. Any false starts, holding sacks, anything like that, that positive momentum needs to continue for Olmsted Falls because clearly Amherst is going to get the ball back at least one more time, if not twice, for really the rest of this first half.
So after that 5-yard penalty, that will make it 2nd and 14 for the Bulldogs. Excuse me, it's going to be 2nd and 9. Just a 5-yard penalty there. And rumbling forward, Andrew Parkowski getting those yards back, now setting up a third and manageable from the 25-yard line.
65 yards already in the first half by Parkowski. He's getting punches and bunches right now.
Well, Parkowski, a guy who they like to go to, but it all depends upon if there's space up the middle because he wants to go up the middle from that fullback spot. If there's not much space, we've seen him have games where he doesn't get very many yards, but he still comes away with some touchdowns. This game, he's really picking up the yards. Now, again, back to him. He gets close to the first down marker. It looks like it will be enough to move the chains, but it will be close. And they will move the chains. It was right at the marker. They give it to him. So, again, Parkowski without a touchdown still so far in this game, but he is picking up the yards. If they keep going to him like this, I wouldn't be surprised to see him end up in the end zone, maybe even on this drive.
Very much agreed. Keep wearing him down.
Now back to that bunch formation. Man in motion. Here's the pitch. Pin check. Trying to get some room here on the near side of the field. And gets up to about the 16-yard line. So a little bit of room there. But following his blocker, just able to sneak out of bounds after a pickup of 4 yards.
Now 20-7, Comets, 5.5 to go. As Cole said, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Bridget, Senior Smith, Dr. Davila, guys, we are so glad you are sharing the show. We thank you again, T. Forbes, for doing so as well.
Another penalty marker. This has been the most penalized game we've seen so far that we've called personally here in this season to this point. And this is happening in week 5. Ciolik, keeper. He wanted to pitch that one off. The Comets reading it, setting the edge well. And Ciolik doing the smart thing, just keeping possession of the ball, but taking that loss.
And not much going on there.
Yeah,
he gave him 3 total on that.
Yeah, he was able to pick up those 3 positive yards. But again, mentioning that it is a long to go to get to the first down marker, because after that penalty, it was 1st and 20, and now it's 2nd and 17. So a long way still to go. Ciolik under center. Parkowski with his hand in the dirt right behind him.
Oh my God, Connie in motion there.
Connie did go in motion to the far side of the field. Vince mentioned that. Ciolik going to the end zone to the back corner. Cooney wide open, and he gets both feet in. That's good in high school. That's good in college, and that would have been good in the NFL. Touchdown for Cooney. Pulling this one closer again. Bulldogs responding after the defense gave up a touchdown. That offense keeping them still in this game, 20-13.
Great separation there by Cooney. Really reserved that last burst of speed until he absolutely needed it in the corner of the end zone. Good concentration as well. As Cole mentioned, did a phenomenal job getting both feet in, pulling down the catch. I see our guy, Bis Levy, probably got a great picture of that as I look over and see him. And, guys, this is the kind of game we expected to see.
Kanaba set for the kick. Waiting for the snap. Here's the snap. Laces were towards Kanaba, but he was able to put it up and through.
Laces out.
Yeah, laces out.
Finkel and Einhorn. Finkel and Einhorn. Yeah. Found a way to work that into an article this weekend. I really did.
Yeah. It's that Dan Marino's fault, right? Yeah.
28-yard touchdown pass to Jimmy Cooney brings the score to 20-14. And now that missed extra point becomes big.
Yeah, it was that block on the other end as the Bulldogs special teams unit was able to come up with the block. And, you know, that 6-point deficit, you can see a huge difference. And, you know, we go back to the Bulldogs matchup versus Avon a couple of weeks ago. They had that 2-point conversion, and that really made the game more interesting. Yes, I understand that Avon won in the end, but because of making that 2-point conversion, it kept it really interesting because that field goal was there and you were within range.
Yeah, and you don't see too many games end 35-32 like that one did, and that was it did. It really did.
Exactly. So a point here or there can be a huge difference maker in any game. So 20-14 is your score. The Bulldogs going to be kicking off from the right-hand side, going towards our left here on our radio dial. The kick is up. It's away. Back to about the 6-yard line. Tori Weatherspoon fielding it and not able to find any room. Able to get up to the 20-yard line, though.
Yep. And, guys, we will get to all those scores Cole talked about at halftime, but shout out to our guys there on Keon Sports Elite. Looks like they have a barn burner going 0-0, and North Ridgeville has already had 2 goal line stops. I don't know why Midview isn't kicking field goals. You're desperate for points against a winless team, but for whatever reason, they're not. 0-0 in that one at Keon Sports Elite.
There's a lot of zeros in that game, not only in the record on the scoreboard at the moment. That's two teams really fighting fighting to get that win. And that's one of those where I'm surprised they're not taking the points, like you mentioned. You've got opportunities to kick field goals. You're trying to win that game. Points matter. We just mentioned.
Good recovery, Cole.
You mentioned any points really do matter.
And parents of Midview and North Ridgeville, how could they reach Cole McDaniel on social media? A lot of zeros in that game. All right, back to our game, though, Cole.
Hey, got to be real.
Penalty, though. Seriously, there was a penalty on Amherst, I think.
It's exciting for Keon Sports Elite there,
Oh, yeah,
though. That's for sure.
For sure.
You got two teams who, and the thing is, it doesn't matter what your record is this year. You're going to make it to
really
the postseason.
doesn't.
That's the
true.
thing, because you can turn it around. It doesn't matter if you haven't won yet. You can actually try to make a little run in the postseason if you start to get hot at the right time. That's the interesting part about this year.
All about momentum going in.
Absolutely.
Brendan Corrigan, primary tackler.
So that first play of this drive was a handoff up the middle. And now a 2nd and 13 going to be coming for the Comets. And Vince, just to touch up on that point, we mentioned it's such a different year with the schedule and the postseason, and all these teams are really having to prep, and it's one of those things where some of these teams who maybe aren't used to getting into the postseason or are really looking ahead towards that, you still have to take care of the task at hand and game plan for this, and you can't quite look ahead so quickly. And that's going to be maybe one of the challenges this year with everybody going in. Will you start game planning for the postseason come week 5 and week 6, or do you just have to focus on
you
game at
can.
hand?
And let me tell you that. So OHSAA released something earlier this week that they are actually going to have the round 1 pairings released early next week. So these teams are going to have almost like a warm-up game week 6. Division 1, Region 1, all those teams get a bye for whatever reason. So it's like the teams that are going to be playing that 7th week, I don't want to call it a mess, but yeah, it's more than interesting to say the least.
Here's the other thing we're interested about. Obviously, seeding's still going to come out. It doesn't matter to win the game. Here's the other thing. You get to week 6, you want to keep your stars healthy. You already know you make it into the postseason. Do they play the backups and sit the stars week 6?
This is going to be so strange next week. It's going to be fun, but you're right.
We could see a lot of interesting things happening. Now back to this game again, 2nd and 13, 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. Brzezina back to pass, looking far side of the field. He's got a guy wide open and just overthrows his receiver. Streaking down the far side of the field was number 16, Alden Steele. Alden Steele has been a major factor in this game tonight.
Yeah, that was touchdown pass number 3 right on the right there. If you could have hit him on the money, hit him in the stride. I think I see another penalty, but is that yellow or orange? Because I know we're doing beanbag for orange. Maybe it's someone's towel, but
that one's
positive. I see a yellow thing laying right there on the field.
That one's yellow, and it is a penalty flag, and that one's going to be backing up. That one will be against the Comets. So, again, penalty markers all over this field tonight.
Yeah,
these
strange.
two teams, I understand it's competitive. They're fighting. Sometimes you see penalties because of that. But, again, you really need to clean that up in the next couple weeks because penalties can be a difference maker.
Bulldogs stop here, get a short field. They could lead at halftime.
From the 6-yard line, we got a 1st and 25. Brzezina back to pass. Quick screen. That was lofted. Got to his receiver slowly. His receiver able to get up and gain some positive yards. That's Casey Hamrick. And we got a penalty flag coming from the back of the field.
Well, one, there should have been holding in the end zone that wasn't called. So this actually could be a safety if they call it. If not, because the flag, I didn't see flags until after the tackle, so I don't really know. But that easily could have been holding.
Well, I don't think it's going to be holding in the end zone because that flag was tossed from the back judge here.
Up there it is. There's the holding now. Where are they going to spot it?
We're going to see what they say because it wasn't the one in the end zone I think you mentioned. I think it was one of the ones here on the near side of the field when the receiver came around. Casey Hamrick probably could have gained some more yards there if it really weren't for that ball being lofted. If it was driven in there, it kind of floated. So pretty interesting there. So now we got a 3rd and 20 from the 11-yard line.
Yeah, they declined the penalty.
They did decline the penalty. 4 receiver set. Brzezina in the gun. A quick pass out to Hamrick. Hamrick trying to make a man miss. He's able to gain a couple quick yards. Defensive back cleaning it up for the Bulldogs.
Great job gang tackling there. Wrapping them up, have another guy come over, putting them down. That's exactly what you need to do. Those were the tackles they weren't making earlier tonight. They're starting to make them now. And you want to talk about momentum. 2:56 to go. The Bulldogs are going to get the ball back with a pretty short field, as you see Connie right about the 45-yard line. I mean, after all of this, they could actually take the lead and go into halftime with it.
Conservative call there from the Comets. They've got the lead. They're relying on their defense right now to come up big against the Bulldogs. Bulldogs going to receive the ball with just under 3 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Again, the Comets still holding on to a 6-point lead. The punt is up. It's hanging up there. It's wobbling. It's going to come down and bounce at about the 45-yard line, and that is where it's going to sit and rest. And so the Bulldogs will come out. They've got 55 yards to go to get to the end zone.
Yeah, here we go. 2:44 left on the clock, as you just said. Plenty of time. They need to go 45 yards. And, it's wild. Amherst jumps out to the 14-0 lead. A couple of bombs right off the bat. Almost gut punches Olmsted Falls. But, again, Olmsted Falls, senior leading, never out of a game. And they're showing you why right now.
So 2 minutes and 45 seconds left to go to get 55 yards to get to the end zone for the Bulldogs. Ciolik under center. The handoff to Conti. Conti bursting forward, wrapped up. And that was number 16, Alden Steele, who wrapped him up, pulled him down by the shoestrings. Alden Steele has been all over the field, not only on offense, on defense as well for the Comets.
Took the words out of my mouth. The kid does it all. Calling his number a lot tonight.
Ciolik with the offense now just past the half-field mark. The pitch to Pinchek. To Fiskanich. That's really the first time we've seen Ryan Fiskanich touch the ball today. And, Fiskanich has been a guy who's been able to gash and pick up some big yards. So interesting that was his first time taking the pitch. He was stopped quickly for a loss of 2.
Makes you wonder about practice this week.
3rd and 4 from the 50-yard line. Ciolik, the quick pass out. Read well by the Comets, but making some men miss and move. We got the football on the ground. And the official on the far side is going to say that Kandow was down. Just going to be short. It's going to be a 4th and short now for the Bulldogs.
They kind of blew this opportunity here. And now what do you do? Because you're at the 50, so you don't if you don't get a first, if you go for it, okay, 4th and 4 on the 50, and you don't get it, that's not good. So then you're giving 90 seconds to the Comets only to have to go half a field. I punt this ball. I don't think they're going to, because I don't think I've seen them punt very much at all this season, but I would punt in this situation.
Well, I would assume this is going to have to change because it shouldn't be at the 50 because he did catch the ball. He made a man miss. Yeah, it's at the 47. So it's a 4th and 1. So you've got 1 yard to go. Okay. You've been able to gash them up the middle. This is Parkowski territory in the sense of Parkowski will keep those legs churning. You trust your offensive line. I think you go for it. You got him in 40 seconds. Why not? You got Parkowski. He's a proven fullback. He hardly ever takes a loss. You've only got a yard to go. I would expect to see a handoff up the middle.
They listen to you here as I see Kandow and Parkowski in that huddle. So, yep. And now Amherst has to believe they're going to go right up the middle with Parkowski here.
I would think so.
You can get real guts. You can do a play action fake and try to hit someone deep, but I won't even mess with that. So it's Pinchek, Parkowski, and Kandow.
Parkowski going to be lined up right behind Ciolik, getting that hand in the dirt. The handoff to him, rumbling forward. He got hit early, but he once again kept those legs churning like he always does, and because of that, he got to the marker.
That was a big 4th down conversion.
Big play call.
Huge momentum change.
Big play.
Yep. Great job by Amherst, though. Even though they didn't stop him, that was mighty close. They wrapped him up pretty quick, but he's such a big kid. There's really no way to pretty that up. He's just a big kid running through 2 people at once.
So 2 receivers now to the near side. The motion out. The handoff up the middle. They're going back to it again. Andrew Parkowski, only a gain of a couple yards. Clock continues to tick. 1 minute and 12 seconds left to go. Ciolik quickly returning back to the huddle, trying to get that play call in. So we got 30 seconds left on the game clock. Just over a minute now on the game clock.
The only back we haven't seen from Olmsted Falls tonight is Clay Volmaker.
Ciolik to pass. He's got Williams wide open up the middle, trying to make a man miss, trying to get to the outside, inside the 10-yard line, down inside the 5. You have Ethan Williams, the senior receiver, really making some guys miss in a nice play by the senior receiver.
Little OBJ action there as Browns fans see OBJ kind of cut back and slide across the field. Williams did that exact thing. The only difference is he got more yards.
Well, that he did. Down to the 2-yard line now. This should be Parkowski territory. The handoff to Parkowski, getting forward. It looks like he stood up at the 1-yard line. So now 20 seconds left to go to try to punch this one in. They're probably going to return back to the well. That goal line formation now out there, really trying to do what they can against Parkowski. And Parkowski, he dives, and you're not going to wrap up a big fullback when a 225-pound Andrew Parkowski dives headfirst at you at the 1.
No doubt. One hell of a first half, guys. It is now all tied up at 20 each. And, obviously extra points are never a gimme anymore. But, wow, is all I could say. One hell of a first half.
My man Vince McKee just said it. It's all tied up. It's knotted up at 20. And this is where that blocked PAT becomes a factor as Drew Kanaba has a chance to take the lead for the Bulldogs, the first lead of the night, possibly for the Bulldogs, if he can knock this one through the uprights.
2 huge plays on that drive, the pass to Williams, and obviously the 4th down conversion right before that. Monster plays.
So here is Kanaba set to kick. Waiting for that snap. Here it is. Kick is up. And it is good. And there you have it. The Bulldogs at home get their first lead of the night over the visiting Amherst Steel Comets. Now with 12 seconds left to go here in the second quarter, you'd expect a squib kick probably from the Bulldogs, not wanting a big return to happen, which means either we see the Comets come out and they try to take one shot to the end zone, or
we know they could do.
They just take a knee.
I don't think they take a knee after those 70-yard strikes.
I would say after a couple 70-yard strikes, you go for that big heave. But the common thing you do oftentimes see is that knee, just taking it to half. We will see if the Bulldogs, really have to set deep and defend against a big Amherst Steel strike, or if that's not how it's going to be, and it's going to be one of those situations where they can relax and pretty easily just go in half. And there must have been a penalty flag. Yeah, there must have been a penalty flag against Amherst off of that kick.
That's a big one, man. That's another 15-yarder.
So now
more than that, because usually kick off from the 4. Yeah, it's 15 yards.
Yeah, so Kanaba, this is his second time tonight now kicking from the Amherst Steel 45-yard line. Last time he put it through the back of the end zone when he was kicking it from this distance. And because of that, he will do it again into the back of the end zone. That will come out to the 20-yard line. We've got 12 seconds left to go, 80 yards to go for the Comets. And because of this distance, personally, Vince, I have a feeling they're probably going to take a knee. But because of those big strikes, it does make you think, will they come out and try to do something special? Right now, the coaching staff over there trying to work it out. Mike Passarello, the head coach of Amherst Steel, telling his guys what he wants to happen here, and we'll see what they come out. And right now, it's looking like they're going to actually try to take a shot. We got 2 receivers to the near side. That's Ty Weatherspoon and Casey Hamrick. And we've got Brazina from the gun. Takes a snap. It's a handoff up the middle. Weatherspoon trying to get some room. He is going to get 10 yards off of that carry. It will pick up a first down. And now we got the end of the quarter. That one's going to wrap it up, and they're ready to head to halftime. So because of that, the Bulldogs have made a comeback here in the first half. They go into half here at Olmsted Falls with a score of 21-20, and that blocked PAT is a crucial factor right now. And so here on Keon Sports, again, Cole McDaniel alongside Vince McKee. Just a reminder, here at halftime, we're going to go over our wonderful sponsors, as well as Vince will be updating you about scores around the area. So starting off with our sponsors, I want to mention SKN Biopharma. SKN Biopharma's hand sanitizer, which protects hands for up to 8 hours, and their surface protectants, which protect surfaces for up to 90 days, are non-toxic and utilize revolutionary technology to kill pathogens of all types longer than anyone previously thought possible. Their business has absolutely exploded, and their products are available right now at www.sknmicrosure.com. Protect yourself, protect your family, and protect your business with the best solution available on the planet. Just a reminder, that has absolutely blown up. Make sure to check them out. We got some NFL teams, specifically like the Denver Broncos, who are using some of that technology right now. So make sure to check out that hand sanitizer, which will help protect you. As not only have we obviously heard a lot about the coronavirus and everything for a long time, but we've got cold and flu season coming up as that's approaching more and more. So make sure to check out SKN Biopharma's hand sanitizer. Richard Ward with RE Max Beyond 2000. Richard Ward is a full-time realtor specializing in listing homes, new home construction, military relocation, and pricing strategies. Whether buying or selling, Richard Ward has the experience, knowledge, and the determination to get the job done. For more information, contact richardwardrealty.com. MDG Flooring. If you're in need of quality flooring for your home or office, then look no further than MDG Flooring America in Medina. There is nothing that Steve and his talented staff cannot handle. Call them today at 330-725-5252 or stop in and visit them in person at 3812 Pearl Road in Medina. Kobo's Insurance. Kobo's Insurance has been serving the Cleveland area for over 50 years. They're independent agents, so they have lots of companies to find customers the best rate. They specialize in car, home, life, and business insurance. They're family run and have 2 locations, one in Elyria and one in Avon Lake. Cleveland Fitness Club for 20 plus years. They have been much more than a place to go work out. They have it all: bikes, tracks, courts, and even pools. They truly have something for everyone and are open 365 days a year. You can visit them today at 6600 West 130th Street in Middleburg Heights. Angela and Tony promote a family-run business for all the right reasons. Next, we've got Airport Go-Kart. If you're looking for a fun time with your kids or friends, head over to Airport Go-Kart at 16208 Brook Park Road in Cleveland. It's fun for everyone involved at a next to nothing price. Next, we got Car Parts Warehouse. Speaking of cars, if yours is in need of repairs, then the first place you need to call for that part is Car Parts Warehouse. They cut out the middlemen and bring the service right to you. With the lowest prices in town and an inventory a country mile wide, they have everything you will need for any issue. Find them online at carpartswarehouse.net. Frankie's Italian Cuisine, looking for a place to enjoy a post-game meal? And if you love Italian food, then Frankie's Italian Cuisine has you covered from meatball to lasagna. Visit them tonight at 4641 Great Northern Boulevard in North Olmsted. Next, we've got Top Tier Performance. Chris Walker and Top Tier Performance is the top combo for any athlete looking to improve his or her game. Look him up on Facebook today. Phone call or text 216-789-7540 or email cwalker199571@gmail.com. Mention Keon Sports and he'll offer a 15% discount on any training session going forward. Next, I want to mention as well, this weekend, check out who will be nominated for the Player of the Week. Again, a lot of players going to be listed. Their stats will be included. You can go and vote for them. That will be up this weekend. We have a lot of games that we're covering. There's going to be a lot of nominees up. And the sponsor always involved in our Player of the Week is Jenny's Popcorn. And we're so thankful for that. Jenny's Popcorn, not only a sponsor for that, also sends out popcorn to the winner. So that is a big key factor, especially a nice feature for those guys who do end up winning Player of the Week. So a reminder to keep a lookout for that this weekend. So mentioning Jenny's Popcorn, I want to talk about Jenny's Popcorn. Jenny's old-fashioned popcorn is a family-owned tradition that has been serving customers in Northeast Ohio and beyond for 65 plus years. You can find their flavors anywhere popcorn is sold, including Giant Eagle and Mark's. Visit them online at jennyspopcorn.com or in person at 38727 Taylor Parkway, North Ridgeville, Ohio, 44035. Mullins Construction, it doesn't matter if it is indoor or outdoor. Mullins Construction has everything your home or office will need. They even do plumbing, hot water tanks, windows, and everything else your home or office will need. Visit them today at www.credens.com/Mullins Construction. Next, we've got Soccer Shots. The pitch is perfect for some outdoor action. Sign your kids up for Soccer Shots today. It is an excellent program to teach your child about exercise and overall hard work. You can find them on Facebook or also soccershots.com. It is the best program. You can sign your child up for today. Last but not least, here as we go over the sponsors before we get to game score updates. BA Sweetie. If you have a sweet tooth, then BA Sweetie Candy Company in Cleveland or Brook Park Road has you covered. With everything from your childhood to today, they didn't miss a beat putting together this magnificent display of candy and ice cream paradise. You can visit them at 6770 Brook Park Road, Cleveland, Ohio. Before we get to the score update with Vince McKee, we're going to take a quick break here at halftime. Again, you're listening to Key on Sports. I'm Cole McDaniel.
Thank you again for joining us here on Key on Sports. Vince McKee alongside Cole McDaniel. And as we wrap up halftime here, about halfway through halftime, let's get you some scores here from all around the area. Our Mark Thies is out north Olmsted, where the Eagles trail Avon Lake 28-0 at the half. Kirtland 21, Solon 7 in a game. There's a lot of eyes on. Obviously, Solon won a big Division I powerhouse. Kirtland, we've always felt could play way beyond their division. They're showing it tonight, running all over Solon, 21-7. In our Key on Sports Elite game, we've seen some points. Cole, North Ridgeville now leads it 10-7 over Midview at the half. Again, guys, swing over to Key on Sports Elite when you get a chance. Check them out. They are all over that game. Niles 21 at the half. They lead as well over Valley. Also, Holy Name 33, Parma 0 at the half. They're going to start that game with a running clock in the second half. Wow, Holy Name is for real. They blew the doors off of Rocky River last week, and they're just doing it again. Valley Christian 0, Lisbon, my mistake. All tied up at halftime. Valley Christian and Lisbon 0-0. And what I find to be a bit of a shock that it's this close of a game, Elyria Catholic leads, which I figured they would over Lakewood, but they're only up 19-7 in that one. I figured that would be a blowout. It is not. Cloverleaf 14, Field 7. All right, Tony Bogan at that one. Chardon, no surprise here, all over Mayfield, 28-0. And then finally, I'll be out there tomorrow night, or actually tomorrow during the day, picking some apples out there in beautiful Firelands. But tonight, the Falcons are struggling as they trail against Keystone 27-14. I'm going to go ahead and use this opportunity as well before we pitch it back to Cole to update everybody on the scores from the first half of this game's actual scores. It was a 71-yard touchdown pass from Brzezina to Weatherspoon. Got it going right off the bat. Made it 7-0. They got the ball back. 70 more yards this time to Alden. Still 14-0 at the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. Olmsted Falls would respond with a 49-yard touchdown run from Candow at the 14-10 mark. So a little over a minute later, they were right on that board, 14-7. Then it was a 34-yard beautiful touchdown run by Tori Weatherspoon. Just excellent cutback on that one. Extra point was blocked. That moved the score to 20-7. And then Olmsted Falls began their comeback. Beautiful corner of the end zone touchdown pass from Charlie Ciolik to Jimmy Cooney from 28 yards out, made it 20-14. And then right before the half, it was Andrew Parkowski from 2 yards out. And I got to say this, we're covering scores here, but I have to say this here. Two big plays on that last scoring drive for Olmsted Falls before the half. The fourth down conversion right there on the 47-yard line, and then phenomenal 42-yard pass to Williams, who cut in and just made a huge, huge play. That's where we stand, 21-20, as we go into the second half.
And Vince, it was one of those things where I can absolutely agree with you. You said coming into this game, you thought this was going to be a high scoring matchup. We've seen plenty of points. Obviously, we've seen a couple stops from the defenses, but it's been a lot of big plays. We've seen plenty of points. Right now, a combined 41 on the board at the moment. And just a reminder as well for people out there, Olmsted Falls, the only school that we've been to so far that we've been covering that still during this time is going with the 20-minute halftime. So just a reminder, we still got 10 minutes on the clock, which means Vince and I will be taking a little bit of a break before we get back here in the second half. You know, if you click off of this, make sure to come back and tune in for the second half here on Keon Sports. Again, going to be a close one as the Olmsted Falls Bulldogs have a 1-point lead over the Amherst Steel Comets. Cole McDaniel, Vince McKee. We'll be right back in a couple minutes to update you more at halftime, as well as talk about what's going to happen here in the second half. We'll be right back. And we're back here on Keon Sports quicker than we expected. We've seen 20-minute halftimes twice here so far. This one going to be shorter. Team's going to get back out here as we get the action rolling and get this game back underway as we're about to start the second half. So the Bulldogs, they scored last and they return. They will be returning it here to start the third quarter. So nice for them to really have the time to be the last one to really have a solid opportunity to score and now get it back. That's what coaches really love, is when they can get it back to back and really see if they can get a 14-point swing.
Absolutely. We've seen that happen to the Cleveland Browns many a time.
Against the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Big time.
Cleveland Browns aren't the ones doing it over the years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Real quick, too, shout out to our guy, Tyler Stonsky. He's coming that big one out there, North versus South. Obviously, East Lake North versus Willoughby South. Now, 14-8 at halftime. We had Chris Malika on earlier in the week talking about throw the records out. It's going to be a close game. He was right.
So the kick to start this half is a squib. It is fielded and picked up pretty easily by the Bulldogs. They will start at their own 41-yard line. So they, like I said, are trying to really pull in a 14-point swing. They did not have a lead the entire first half until we got down to the final 12 seconds. So it has really been Amherst still lead the whole way. We'll see how Amherst can respond after giving away that lead right at the end of the first half.
Absolutely. Also, our Ryan Isley checks in from time to time with us, and he has Massillon up 7-6 on Annacious. All right, you are all up to date. Let's cover some football, my man. Here we go. Big second half.
From the 42-yard line to 1st and 10. 3 receivers set to the near side of the field for the Bulldogs. The handoff to Parkowski up the middle. Parkowski with some speed and rumbling forward and dragged down a saving tackle there from number 16, Alden Steele, on Parkowski, as Parkowski could have easily taken that one to the house. Usually a power guy, that's the quickest burst I've seen him get through the hole. And the big man was moving.
Yeah, biggest run of the game for him, 18 yards.
So Parkowski quickly approaching 100 yards on the game as we got our mathematician over here, Vince McKee, adding up the stats. The pitch out to Conti. Conti's got space inside the 20, the 15 to the 10, 5, touchdown.
Wow.
He just avoided the tackler and is able to go in standing upright into the end zone. Bulldogs, quick strike in that 14-point swing we mentioned. From the end of the first half to the beginning of the second is exactly what happened here at Olmsted Falls, 27-20 over the Comets.
Great job there by Rocco County. Two things. Number one, to stay in bounds, dance along those sidelines there, and took a shove at about the 4-yard line and went forward with it. Kept his momentum going forward. Phenomenal job by Rocco County. This kid impresses me every single week with something new. Rocco County.
Jimmy Cooney, the holder for Canaba. Again, we've seen several penalties against Amherst Steel off of these PATs. We'll see if there's any laundry on the field this time, and there is not. Everything was good there. Kick was good, making it 28-20 for the Bulldogs. And so when they come out and kick, they'll be kicking from their own side of the field this time. So that was a quick strike. Only took 36 seconds of game time. 2 plays. Parkowski rumbling forward, the pitch out to Conti. Conti with a burst of speed, and that's all it took for the Bulldogs.
And you mentioned stats. I mean, really, after really kind of a slow start passing, his last 4 passes, a 28-yard touchdown pass to Cooney, 4 yards, 42 yards to Williams, and then a 58-yard touchdown pass to Rocco County. Charlie Seelick really starting to heat up right now. Big plays, 28-yard touchdown, 58-yard touchdown, had Candown with the 48 touchdown run. We've seen a 70-yard touchdown, a 71-yard touchdown, 34-yard touchdown. It's been a big night. A lot of big plays.
3 deep to return for the Comets. Canaba sets kickoff, as mentioned, from his own 40-yard line. And so
I hear another airplane, my man. There it is.
There it is. There's another plane. And the air traffic we've been talking about. Yeah, Olmsted Falls gets a lot of air traffic, but a lot has been going into the airport. Before the game, it was like every 2 minutes we had a plane coming in. We actually had a plane come right over during the national anthem. So definitely one of those things where a lot of air traffic, and you can hear it coming from behind. and going above. So
Like
that
you
has
said,
been interesting to see as well.
And the one during the national anthem, I kid you not, had a giant American flag on it, which I thought was kind of neat.
Interesting timing. Yeah, absolutely. 11:24 left here in the third quarter. Again, mentioning that quick strike for the Bulldogs. If you're just tuning into this game now, or if you're coming back from halftime just now, Rocco Conti able to pull in that completion from Charlie Ciolik and takes that one to the house. So that's why the Bulldogs have an 8-point lead, and we got some movement by the offense of Amherst Steel. Laundry again down the field. We've seen a lot of yellow laundry down there, a lot of penalty markers here tonight. Been pretty sloppy from that side of thing. The officials have been very, very busy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Like we said, week 5, you don't expect to see this much, but it's been that crazy kind of night. A lot of points, a lot of flags.
So 1st and 15 now from the 30-yard line for the Comets, looking to respond on their first drive of the second half. Tyler Brazina back in the gun. 3 receiver set, 2 to the near side of the field, 1 on the far side. Running back to his left. Brazina in the gun. Takes the snap, rolls to the left-hand side, looking to the far side, just off the fingertips of number 16, Alden Steele. Alden Steele been a big target here tonight. That one just out of his reach, falling incomplete. 2nd and 15 now from 30 for the Comets.
Off those fingertips there. A couple times we've seen that tonight with Brazina, just a shade too deep on those.
Well, I do have to say that even though that one was incomplete for the listeners, Brazina put that where he needed to put it, just need to pull it back a little bit. He floated it because there were about 2 or 3 Bulldogs running behind his intended target, Steele. So he did put it where only his receiver could get to it. And we've got another false start. Jumping was number 27, Jonathan West. You mentioned coming into this game, number 27, Jonathan West was a running back to watch out for. Mm-hmm. He's really only touched the ball once.
Yep.
And there is another penalty. It's actually, I think that's actually his second false start here on this drive. So he's the one backing them up. Not a great drive here for Jonathan West. Hopefully for him, he can turn around here soon. 2nd and 20 from the 25 now. Brazina back to pass. The quick underneath route, incomplete. He was looking for Jonathan West. West quickly pulled down. Looked like number 54, Jeff Dreifke, was the one who broke that up. Dreifke, a good job getting over from his defensive end spot.
Sure was. He got there quick. Pivoted to his left, little sidestep action. Worked to perfection.
3rd and 20 now from the 25-yard line. This is long for the Comets, and the crowd is getting wild here. Olmsted Falls. Brazina scrambling. Gets out to the right-hand side. He's got a receiver, and he cannot hook up with his intended target. A 4th and long now. Send on the punt unit.
3 straight incomplete passes for Brazina. As Ciolik heats up, Brazina's starting to cool off here. And they might have to punt really for only the second time tonight. Second or third time tops.
Well, and this is exactly what you mentioned. We said in the first half, you said the Bulldogs cannot afford to lose this game. They cannot afford to fall here because, the way their schedule is set up, it was tough. It was tough. They don't want to be 3-3 going into the postseason. Ultimately for them, you don't want to lose any games, but they're thinking about where they concede and how that's all going to work out. The punt is up. It was high. Conti fields it. Surprised he did not call for a fair catch there as he had a guy closing in quickly. Able to make somebody miss and gain 4 yards, though.
I want to say, too, a good job there on that punt return by Jimmy Cooney to come over and block for Conti there at the last second. He might have saw Cooney out of the corner of his eye and knew he'd have a little bit more room. But a good job there by Cooney to come over and protect him a little bit. That could have been dangerous. If Cooney doesn't come over and block that guy out at the last second, it could have been a little dangerous.
It could have been. So now, Ciolik and the Bulldogs offense will quickly come out again. Again, a quick strike on their last drive. Took a matter of 36 seconds to get to the end zone. We'll see what they do here. Spreading the field again with their receivers. And when they've been doing this, they've been going to Parkowski up the middle. That they do again. Parkowski up the middle, rumbling forward, gets right to midfield. A nice pickup there from the fullback.
You called it. Now, there you can see that up here. Is Amherst going to make that adjustment now? Because they go right back to the triple option here.
Yeah. In that pinch, bunch formation, man in motion, the fake to Candow, looking for an open receiver. Cooney broke off his route, and he found an open Cooney. Cooney gets to the 15-yard line, and that was good patience there from Seolik, but you have to give the credit to the offensive line. They gave him so much time to stand back there, and then Cooney, the senior wide receiver, he broke off of his route. They were looking deep up the middle.
Yep.
Two guys were there. When he decided to slow it down, cut to the left,
Yep.
the two defensive backs continued to go towards their own end zone. It opened up enough space for Cooney. Seolik delivered the strike.
Three things went right there. The offensive line holding up, Seolik being patient, and like you said, the cut at the last second by Cooney.
Here's the handoff to Conti. Conti bursting forward. He spins to gain some extra yards. That's going to get a first down. Make it 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. Going to be marked down at the 4.
Conti doing some damage tonight. That 58-yard touchdown catch runs a 3:22, 14, 8, and 10. Conti making it count big time tonight. And again, all this set up by a beautiful connection there from Seolik to Cooney on the play before.
And that's one of those things you have to give the Bulldogs credit for. You see some triple option teams, is it as common anymore in today's era of football? Not really. But for the teams who do it, sometimes all they can do is really run it. For the Bulldogs, they can pass as well. They spread it out, 3 receivers set on that near side of the field. Parkowski up the middle. They're just working that defense of the Comets as they spread them out.
Yep, you called it again. That 3 wide our side, spread them out up the middle. You've noticed it. Now Amherst has to make an adjustment because we can see it coming a mile away up here.
Quick strikes from this Bulldogs offense. They did not lead in the first half until the final 12 seconds. Now extending out their lead can make it a 15-point advantage if they knock in this PAT.
And really the first 2-score lead since the very, very early goings of this game.
Yeah, the Comets were operating with a 2-score lead. That one went away for the Bulldogs. They're tacking on the points. We got a penalty flag here on the near side of the field. Special
I've never
teams.
seen so many. Go ahead, because I think we're going to the same place here, Cole.
We're going to the same place. It's not just these offenses and defenses. It's special teams.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Starting with opening kickoff.
The opening kickoff. We don't even see the kick go away before penalty markers happen. Who gets a delay of game on the opening kickoff?
That was weird.
I'd never seen that ever before. But I think we're sitting at about 5 penalty markers, 5 or 6 on special teams. So that has been interesting for us here tonight. So now it's backed up a little bit for the Bulldogs, looking to kick this one up through the uprights. The hold is good. The kick is up, and it is good. The distance tacked on doesn't affect Kanaba.
Use money.
Yep. Money right there, as Vince called it. 35-20 is your score. Bulldogs beginning to take a commanding lead over the Comets.
You say you've never seen a penalty a delay a game on an opening kickoff before. Reminds me of something I saw today online. A little humor for everybody as we wait for the next play to start. It was a picture, it was a meme, a group of aliens, and they said, "All right, October's almost here. It's almost our turn." And the one alien goes, "I'm nervous. We've seen everything in 2020. Might as well see that." But yeah, I mean, this is just insane. 4 straight touchdown drives for Olmsted Falls. They have absolutely heated up. They've now put on more points on the Comets than Avon Lake did last week in their loss. And fans, this game's still close. I mean, a 15-point game with this much time to go, it's still anybody's game. But man, oh man, Amherst has to stop the bleeding right now.
And just a reminder for fans out there, if you enjoy listening to Vince and I, you can also listen to our new show. We have been covering some NFL scores, doing our predictions there. Make sure to tune into that on Thursday nights. We did it as a special Facebook Live this last week. But we also do some podcasts on Podbean for that show as well, so make sure to check it out. Back to the game here. The kick is away. On the far side of the field is where it was fielded. It was Torrey Weatherspoon who's able to pull it in. Made a couple guys miss. Some nice moves to clear out some space. Gets to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, and if we're plugging things too, guys, listening from Amherst and also Olmsted Falls, as you've seen on Keon Sports, we have the Player Spotlight Series sponsored by Raising Canes. We have all kinds of local athletes on the show. Send us some recommendations. Put it here in the chat room or email me, coachvin14@yahoo.com. Who should we spotlight this week? This past week, we had Medina quarterback Drew Alar, East Lake North quarterback Chris Malika, and Medina receiver Luke Hensley. I already have lined up for Sunday Nico Pappas from Avon. It's a fun show. Email us your suggestions.
Gotta love the name, Chatting with Chicken.
Yes.
Here's the handoff to Weatherspoon, far side of the field, able to get to the sideline. A nice little pickup there of 5 yards.
And right now they need to settle Brezina down. As we said, 3 straight incompletions. 4 of his last 6 have been incompletions after that hot start. Settle him down a little bit. That's a smart first down call there. Maybe have his next pass be a screen. Just get him back into his rhythm here. You know he could throw the deep ball. Let's see him throw something over the middle, something short. Get him relaxed.
We know Alden Steele has been a favorite target here tonight. He's been a main guy. Somebody we haven't seen really since the first half was Ty Weatherspoon. He was hauling them in the first half. He really hasn't touched it here yet. We'll see if they can find him on this drive. They're looking for him, going deep. Brezina, a lot of contact and jersey grabbing, and that is a good call. We know what this is going to be from the officials. This is going to be pass interference. And so we wait to see the official penalty from the officials. But the Bulldogs defense, they know it's going to be against them. They're going to be backing up here, as that could have been a big play for Amherst. It ends up turning into a big play because of the penalty, 15-yard penalty going against the Bulldogs. Now set up at the 50 for Brezina. And just mentioned Ty Weatherspoon, and that's exactly who they went to right there. Pass out to Weatherspoon, far side of the field, and the tall wide receiver close to pulling it in. He got his hands up there, maybe just not able to get his feet in there on the far sideline. Official had a really good view of that. He calls it incomplete, setting up a 2nd and 10, still from the 50-yard line.
Yeah, and one last thing on that previous play, too. He was actually looking for Steele the entire time, switched to the last second and threw it to Weatherspoon there. Got the flag, though.
And he did.
2nd and long.
More of a bunch formation here for Amherst Steele. They got a guy in motion. That's Steele. Steele cutting back. He was able to get some positive yards, but got popped.
He did. He got popped.
That he did.
Met
Gets up.
there. I mean, he was just met square on.
Yep. And Steele shows some toughness, gets up quickly, bounce back again. And a guy who has had a big game for the Comets, not only on offense, also defensively.
Big time.
So that sets up a 3rd and 6 from the 46-yard line. 8.5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. You're listening to Keon Sports. Cole McDaniel alongside Vince McKee. We're here in Olmsted Falls.
4 down territory here, too.
Yep, 4 down territory. Most likely it is. We've seen a lot of teams going for it, especially tonight. They've been going for it in this area. Brezina back to pass. Looking for his intended target. He finds Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon, a nice job getting to the sticks, coming back, getting the ball, and then making some moves to get upfield for a nice gain of 20 yards.
Yeah, and there was a group of Bulldogs surrounding him once he caught that ball. I mean, Brezina threw it into a crowd. However, they looked like they were playing a bit of a zone defense there. But the second Weatherspoon caught that, there was 5 Bulldogs surrounding him. I think Coach Lucas made that adjustment. No more big plays against us right now.
Excuse me, that would be about 16 yards because of that last pickup that they had, as they were set up at about the 46-yard line following that jet sweep. Then that strike did give them 16 yards. They get to the 30-yard line. 2 receivers set to the near side of the field. In motion is Steele. They hand off up to the middle to Weatherspoon, and Torrey Weatherspoon has been the main back here tonight. He takes that one up the middle for a nice gain.
Absolutely moving. And you're setting yourself up with those jet sweeps earlier in this drive and this game to still. Now, Olmsted Falls has to be prepared for everything on a play like that. Good option. That's how you do it. You set it up early, you make them think about it, and then you plug it up the middle with Weatherspoon when you can.
And they're taking their time. They're getting the ball moving right now. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them actually take a shot at the end zone here. Here's Brezina in the gun. Looks over to the sideline.
One with that hard count could have given them the jump.
Taking their time. Down to 5 minutes on the play clock. Brezina out to the far side of the field. A nice out route by Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon pulls it in, gets his head upfield, and really a nice little stiff arm there also to gain a couple extra yards before he steps out of bounds up to near the 10-yard line.
Great job there by Weatherspoon, that stiff arm to get those last couple, as you said. And now, I mean, this is when this game's going to be real, real interesting.
So within a couple inches of the 10-yard line, which means the officials, there's still a first down to get. The first down is just at the 1. So looking to try to pick up this first down and maybe try to punch it into the end zone all in one. The Amherst Steel Comets. Brezina back to pass, looking for a jump ball back in the end zone. He floats it in there. Beautiful pass by Brazina as he drops it in there to number 16, Alden Steele. And Alden Steele, a little bit of hand fighting there with the defender, and he pulled that one in right in the breadbasket with the left arm.
Unbelievable.
Nice throw and nice catch.
Unbelievable catch. That to me, that's the play of the game right now. He went up there. I don't know if the kid's right-handed or left-handed. I have no idea, but he went up there with his left hand and just yanked it down. That's gorgeous.
He didn't even have to jump. I mean, he stayed on the ground and just pulled that one down. That is a nice play. Put that one on the highlight film.
Yes, absolutely.
So that score from the Comets, they're starting to come back again, as this has been back and forth because of that missed PAT.
Yep.
This is where that 1 point becomes crucial. Now they're going for the 2. Brazina out there in the gun. Man in motion. Out to the side. A slant. Brazina. And a quick strike to his intended target. That's number 9, George Gotzitz. Gotzitz hasn't really touched the ball since the first quarter. I know I called his name once earlier in the game, but that one is a big 2-point conversion. A nice route, pretty easy, and the Bulldogs could not deal with it. So because of that, it pulls it to a 7-point lead for the Bulldogs here. 35-28 is your score, just over 6 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Vince McKee, my broadcast partner, called it going into this. He said there's going to be a lot of points, and he wasn't wrong. We've got a ton of points so far.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I've seen Amherst kind of wear down in the second halves of games. Tonight, obviously, it looked like it was going to start off that way for them in the second half. But, again, a great drive there. Took their time. No penalties. They were smart with it. Mix it up. Even amount of runs and passes on that drive. Keeps it within one score now. Moves it back into a one-score game. But, again, I'll say that catch so far, here we are, week 5. That's probably the best play I've seen. I mean, amazing catch by Olden Steele.
Yeah, it's a very nice catch. And that is – we've seen a lot of good passes. We've seen a lot of good plays. And this isn't to disrespect any other touchdown because we've seen a lot of fantastic touchdowns. But that is a college-level throw by Brazina, dropping that one right into the breadbasket there, far corner of the end zone. That is pretty. So now the Comets coming out to kick it away to the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs 2 for 2 on their second half drives. For a combined time of less than 2 minutes. It has been quick strike offense for the Bulldogs. We'll see if the Comets can deal with it. And we've said what they need to do to adjust. They can't get so spread out. When the Bulldogs, they're trying to spread them out by going those wide receivers. They're going to run the ball in the middle. It's not really in their repertoire to throw it to those receivers. They can, but don't get spread out so much because that just opens up holes for Parkowski. And Parkowski has been the big leader in not only attempts rushing, but yardage tonight from the fullback spot.
Yeah, and you don't know when they're going to gouge him with Rocco Connie either at any moment, too. I mean, it's Parkowski who's going to loosen them up, and then you just never know when Connie's going to go off with one. And we saw Kandow do it as well. So they are really a mixed bag tonight.
Ciolik under center. He keeps it. He spins away. Decides not to pitch that out to Pincheck. And going to take a loss there, but he keeps a hold of the ball. Again, probably smart to just lose the yards and be safe there from Ciolik. It is a loss of 2. 2nd and 12 now from the 18. But well read by the Comets defense. They set the edge. They really kept him from pitching that. Somebody who I'm still surprised hasn't touched the ball more is Ryan Fiskanich. We've seen a lot of big plays from him.
Just about to say that too.
Ciolik back to pass. He's got some pressure. Cooney comes underneath. A nice little screen there. It almost looked like it was a little bit more of an improvising thing. Cooney played it off well. He came back. Ciolik found him. He had 2 blockers in front of him, able to pick up a nice gain to cut back into the yardage to go, making it a 3rd and short.
That gain of 9 now. 5 catches on the night for Cooney, having one of his best games of the season by far for him.
Ciolik hands it off to Conti. Conti coming from the far side to the near side, and then he cuts up the middle for positive yards. And that's all we've seen from Conti tonight is bursting through that hole, gaining positive yards, and another big play from Conti. 1st down for the Bulldogs.
And surprise, surprise, I have something nice to say about Rocco Conti yet again. I'll say it again. Not only is this kid quick, but he has shown you tonight. He showed you on that touchdown run. He did it again. he can also break tackles. He doesn't go down on the first hit, Cole. He breaks one tackle after another. We know Parkowski's the bruiser, but Conti, man, oh man, he's physical too. He's sneaky because he's so quick.
So number 44 gets the Bulldogs to the 44-yard line. Ciolik to Parkowski. Parkowski rumbling up the middle. Give him 7.
Crosses midfield. Being tripped up by R.J. Morales.
2nd and 3 from the 49-yard line.
On the run. Second down,
Yep.
3.
Curious as to where they were going to spot that there.
Down to 4 minutes and 15 seconds here in the third quarter. 3 receivers on the far side of the field, again, trying to spread out the Comets. Here's the snap. Hand off to Parkowski. That time, better from the Comets. The only thing is, Parkowski's a big guy. He kept those legs churning. He does get a gain of 2 yards, now making it a 3rd and 1.
No, actually,
And
they're going to give him.
they're gonna give it.
Chains there.
I actually thought he was going to be down short. They said in that pile he was able to get forward.
Must have. I mean, I wrote down 4 because I already saw him like moving it, but Cole, this is a tough year to spot anything when they're not putting the ball down after every play.
That is true. They're tossing the bean bags, and the
Yeah.
center spotting it himself off of the bean bag, which is quite fascinating. But that's the way football is being played right now. Pinchek got tripped up by his own player. That was his left tackle that he fell over, his left tackle. Dominic Rivera, the big 295-pound, 6'6" lineman. He's a big guy, and he's part of that crucial offensive line that moves bodies. That time there, Pinchik just falls on him.
To say the least. And now, as we just talked about it, Ryan Fiskanich checks back into the game with Connie and Parkowski here. And they're 4 wide.
3 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Ciolik back to pass. He's looking for wide open Cooney. He's got him. And again, an overthrow, though I do have to say, Cooney did slow down as he was looking over his shoulder. I actually think that one was more of a strike from Ciolik. Sometimes he's had some overthrows here and there. That time I actually think he put on the money. Cooney, that's one of those where the wide receiver, he just got caught up looking behind and stopped sprinting.
Yeah, and I just want to touch on the formation real quick there, why I said 4 wide. I was looking for that 3 wide of what they've been doing, and then the second they put that 4th guy out there, I could still see him running it. I mean, right now, if Amherst's defense, what can they expect? And here we go with the same formation again.
Again, spreading it out. 3rd and 10 from the opponent's 46-yard line. Handoff up the middle to Parkowski. Parkowski bounces off a tackler, gets to the outside, and just chopped down. It's going to be close. Parkowski just getting to the chains, and that moves it for a first down. Nice pickup of 10 yards on 3rd down.
It's almost like they heard me too, because I was just thinking that I just said the exact thing. They could run him out of any formation.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's unbelievable. You could go 4 wide and still go up the middle with your fullback. This is incredible right now. It's like Amherst, they have to play a guessing game, but even when they guess right, I don't know what's going to matter. He's plowing ahead.
Man, it's those big hefties, those linemen up front doing the dirty work in the trenches. The pitch to Pinchek. Pinchek has got a lot of pitches coming from that left hand to the right side. So that left hand side to the right side has been big for Pinchek. He's chopped down, not much of a gain there. He did get 7 as he fell forward, but yeah, definitely interesting. We're seeing Pinchek a little bit more tonight.
It's 5, yeah, and 1 for Fiskanich only. So it's interesting. Here we go again.
So again, 4 wide, spreading it out. You'd expect this to be to Parkowski, and it is up the middle, and he just pushes forward for a positive gain, and that's all you need. 2nd and 3, just push that pile forward, a positive gain, and just enough to get there. Move the chains once again. So a quick strike Bulldogs offense here in the second half from first and the second possession has been different here in the third. It has been slower, taking time off the clock, and that has been what we've been seeing. So 35-28, a minute and 47 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. We're going to take a quick injury timeout as the Bulldogs down the field. You're listening to Key on Sports. Cole McDaniel and Vince McKee. We'll be right back. And as we're back here on Keon Sports, the injured Bulldog was able to walk off the field on his own power, and that's one of those where you are sending the fullback up the middle of the field. You can get some offensive line legs rolled up on. That's exactly what it looked like there, as it was just a big pile, and they all came to the ground at the same time, and looks like a leg got rolled up on underneath of the pile. So,
and not to talk a point to death here, so maybe I'll just close the point right now, but how deadly is a team when they could run on you like that from any formation?
it's true.
We label them as a triple option offense because they are, but they're showing tonight that they're so much more than that.
Well, yes. Yeah. I mean, technically their base still is that triple option, but yeah, they can put the 4 wide and the fullback down and still barrel forward that way. Kind of unconventional to what you usually see, but it's part of their repertoire, and they're good at it. Here's the handoff up the middle, again to Parkowski, rumbling forward. And they had just marked him just short. 3rd and 1 was what we just had on that play. Barrels forward for a first down. After a gain of a couple yards. Now to the 23-yard line for Olmsted Falls. Again, that 35-28 lead.
22 carries tonight for Parkowski. He's been the workhorse. 22 for him. Like we said, 5 from Pinchek, 6 from Rocco Connie. A lot of plays.
Handoff. Parkowski up the middle. Again, rumbling forward. This is going to sound funny, but we're in the area. You got a lot of Cleveland Browns fans. You know who Parkowski reminds me of in some ways? I know it's high school, and then in college he changed positions in the NFL. Peyton Hillis. We're on the same page there. Peyton Hillis. Think about that Arkansas Razorback in college, that offense. They had Darren McFadden and Felix Jones were their running backs.
Yep.
Peyton Hillis was their fullback.
Yeah.
Parkowski, for a fullback, can definitely run the ball. He gives me those Peyton Hillis vibes.
It's funny you say that. I couldn't agree more. I've been thinking that for weeks. Like I said, with Devin Hunter reminds me of a Roger Craig, Evan Smith kind of back.
That's funny. A lot of comparisons here. Hand off to Candow, far side of the field. And he gets popped as he falls into the end zone and spins off of that touchdown. Bulldogs here on the near side of the field. Nice moves by Candow, good blocking, and that spin at the end was what got him in the end zone. Took a hit and got punished, but he doesn't care. He's celebrating. He got a touchdown. 41-28 is your score in favor of the Olmsted Falls Bulldogs.
That was incredible that he held onto the ball. I mean, it's not often I cut off my play-by-play man with a yelp, but I couldn't resist. Holy smokes. He spun in the air. They popped him. Candow, 2 carries tonight, 2 touchdowns.
He's a guy who started touching the ball more as well from week 1. We didn't see him to touch the ball as much early on. Now he's had a couple big plays here, 2 touchdowns to his name. We got a penalty flag again.
Come on.
This is going to be against the kicking unit. It's going to be a false start. Special teams penalties.
So weird. I'm sorry. It's just so weird.
So back that one up. The last time there was a penalty against Olmsted Falls from special teams, Kanaba was able to still split the uprights. We will see if he's able to do that here and try to extend it back to a 14-point lead in favor of the Bulldogs. Again, 19 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. The snap to Cooney. The hold is good. The kick is up. Kanaba splits the uprights again. 42-28 as he tacks on that extra point. So we're coming down to the final seconds of the 3rd quarter. We've still got an interesting 4th quarter in store for us. I understand the Comets still have some work to do to come back, and the Bulldogs, they're really dominating on offense. But we know that the quick strike offense is a possibility for the Comets. They started the game with big plays. Again, their first 2 touchdowns, 71-yarder, a 70-yarder. It was 141 yards, and those 2 plays obviously only took a couple seconds off of the clock. They were quick strike to start this game. If they can find that again here in the second half and be as much of a quick strike offense as they were early on passing the ball, and Tyler Brazina can hit those receivers and they can make guys miss, this could be pretty interesting. But we'll see what happens here, as from their own 40-yard line, the Bulldogs will be kicking it from our left to our right on our radio dial. 3 back to return for the Comets. And we'll see what the play call will actually end up being as well when Brazina and the offense comes out. Will they just run it and then try to go to the fourth quarter and switch sides of the field? Or will they actually try to take a shot here at the end of the third? We'll see what they do. The kick is up, returned at the 10-yard line. Weatherspoon, Tori Weatherspoon, he's got a lot of action. Kanaba's been consistently putting it on the far corner. Weatherspoon brings it down. We've got penalty markers, and I got to say, the official here on this side of the field, he's got a nice arm with that penalty flag. He launched that across the field, so we'll see what this will be. Looks like it was a hold.
Penalty markers on a special teams play? Not tonight.
No.
Who would have thought it?
Yeah, we should have honestly started like a betting thing, an over-under with this. I mean, that's unreal how many penalty flags we've seen on special teams. Lack of discipline, Vince.
Yeah, big time tonight. Now, let Grandpa Vince McKee tell you a quick story. I was here a few years ago. The final score of the game was Olmsted Falls 75, Berea Mid Park 42. This was in 2017. 75-42. Actually counted the penalties that night. There were 27 combined penalties in that game. Something about points and penalties when you get to Olmsted Falls. They could score, but there's flags.
So after that penalty flag, the Amherst Steel offense taking a long time to get out here. The play clock continues to tick down. They're trying to get set. They're inside 10 seconds. They've got to hurry up. Down to 6. Still not set. Receivers are not out there. They've got to go. Down to 3, 2, 1. Can they get it off? And they just barely get it off. Hand off to Weatherspoon up the middle. And I don't know if that was if that was actually the play call or if that was trying to get that off quickly. But you saw the receivers here on the near side. They weren't paying attention. Then they looked down the field.
Yeah.
They saw the play clock, and they realized, I got to get to my spot. They finally got set, barely got off. Because of that, that ends the third quarter. And that's how that third quarter wraps up. 42-28 is your score. The Comets have a 14-point deficit to try to come back and get. But we got an interesting fourth quarter coming here. We're going to flip sides of the field. Brazina and the offense are going to be working with a 2nd and 8 when they come out from their own 31-yard line. Again, Vince, we mentioned earlier, beautiful night for football. The flags, no movement. They've been straight down. There hasn't been a single breeze the entire night. It's just been a really nice night for football. You know, that it was warmer again today. You know, we had that cool, crisp fall air kind of setting in, and then it kind of went back towards those summer temperatures a little bit. It's been hovering high 70s, 80s again here. So it is a little warmer, you know, but we haven't really seen any cramping. That is something we saw earlier in the season that we're not seeing right now. So we haven't seen issues with cramping. That's been pretty good. But, yeah, again, no breeze at all. Nice night for the kickers, that's for sure, when you don't have a lot of wind. So it's from 31-yard line, Brazina.
Yeah, we have seen some really good kicks tonight. I will say that.
We have. Everything's been solid right down the middle.
A lot of leg.
Brazina in the backfield alone. From the gun, claps his hands, gets the snap, rolls out to the left-hand side. A short pass. And quickly wrapped up was Alden Steele. Not any room there. Alden Steele been one of those favorite targets. He pulls that one in, had good hands, operating as that slot receiver. No gain, though. 3rd and 8 from the 31.
I do love how the marching band is stuck around for the fourth quarter. There's been a couple of games this year where the band has been stuck around. I'm glad they are. I love that sound in the background. It's finally starting to feel like Friday Night Football here. Late September. It feels great.
Brazina in the gun. Takes a snap, drops back. Looking to the far side of the field. A high ball going up and pulling it down was Ty Weatherspoon. Ty Weatherspoon, the tall receiver, listed at 6'4", and you can tell that he's definitely at least 6'3". You know, sometimes we always joke they mark people up an inch, but he definitely does have that height to his advantage. He climbs the ladder and pulls that one down.
He's a big kid. 7 catches tonight for Weatherspoon. 71, 19, 22, 11, 16, 18, and 15. He's been a playmaker.
That he has.
No turnovers yet tonight, Cole. No turnovers.
Weatherspoon on the near side of the field. Expect Brazina to look for him again. He's looking for Steele and just out of his reach. That's one where maybe Steele could have tried to lay out for that one, but that would have been tough here on that far sideline. Brazina just a little bit too much on that.
A little too wobbly there.
Yeah.
Definitely not a wounded duck by any stretch, but for Brazina, he keeps a pretty tight spiral, and that one had a little too much movement on it.
Yeah. That one he wasn't able to drop in like he did to steal in the end zone on the other side of the field. He's had a lot of perfect spirals. That one was a little wobbly, as you mentioned. But they've got more opportunities here. 2nd and 10 from the 43-yard line, taking their time. We've got 5 on the play clock. Down to 3 to 2. Will he get off? He gets it off at 1. Far side of the field. He throws it, swatted down, dropping into coverage. Looked like number 34, Marcus Criswell. And as he turned around, it was right on him. He wasn't able to get his hands up quickly enough to pull that in for an interception, but he was able to swat it with the big left paw.
And that would have had pick 6 written all over it. I just mentioned how there's been no turnovers, but man, oh man, that could have been a death nail for Amherst.
Yeah, and I know Brazina was trying to get that out quickly, but you could have read his eyes the whole way. He was looking to that far side, did not go through his progression.
Weatherspoon is a big kid, sorry. He's so close.
He is. Oh my God. He is. Yeah, now he is on the near side of the field, and you're noticing that size. Here is the throw.
Yep.
A lot of contact.
Sorry. Yeah, big time in advance there. But you know what, Cole, is he within that 4 or 5 yards right there? Where there could be a little bit of touching? Because it looked like it was within 4 yards.
It looks like it was just outside of that. It was close.
Yeah.
But I think all the contact, the ball thrown up in that direction, high school officials, we're not going back and looking at this and reviewing it or anything. So they're just going to, give that penalty flag. And I think that is the smart call. A little too physical.
Player of the game tonight is going to be my broadcast partner, Cole McDaniel, as I've let my play-by-play side slip in twice tonight. But he just blasted the kid. Within 4 yards.
There's number 32, Adam Varga. Yeah. He's had a pretty good season, as you mentioned, but got a little antsy there against the big wide receiver who's kind of been gashing them for some yards here. So after that penalty, 1st and 10 from the Bulldogs' 47-yard line. Amherst driving, trying to put up points. Got 10 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. And we're going to have a timeout. Looks like it's by the offense. Amherst does take that timeout. Wanting to make sure they get the proper play call, as this drive is important for them. Vince, how can Amherst really get back into this game? I know they've got a good quick strike offense as well, but what's the key for them to get back into this one and either try to win this one outright or force an overtime?
I'll tell you right now, throw 10 to 15-yard patterns to both Weatherspoon and Still. Let their athletic ability take over. Olmsted Falls has already shown tonight that they've been struggling quite a bit with the tackling. Let Weatherspoon or Still make a play for you right now. I wouldn't even try the deep ball. Go 10 to 15 yards. Let them make that play.
You know what I'm going to say? It's good. It's actually not going to be the key of the offense. The offense, as long as they keep doing what they're doing, they should be okay. It's when the defense gets back on the field, they need to stuff that box. You need to load it up and stop Parkowski. Force everything to go to the outside of the field. We are back in play after that timeout. Brazina, the pass, he's looking for Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon, a lot of fighting there, a lot of grabbing, and he pulls that one in as he goes up and over the defensive back, number 22, Sean Hollenbeck, not able to handle Weatherspoon there. And Hollenbeck, a lanky corner himself. He's listed at 5'10", but definitely, all arms and legs there as he got his hands up, but can't deal with the size of Weatherspoon.
I am so incredibly impressed tonight by Weatherspoon. I've covered him now. He's a 3-year starter. I've been watching him play for 3 years. He has made a huge leap from his junior year. Huge.
1st and 10 from the 18. Here's the jet sweep to Steele. Steele puts his head down, gets forward, but the Bulldogs quickly swarm on the far side. Hash marks. Not much of a gain there for the Comets.
And still now 3 runs tonight, keeping him honest, going on with his 4 catches. A ton of plays tonight. Ton of flags, ton of points, ton of plays.
That it has been. It for sure has been. A ton of plays. Lots of everything. Ton of planes flying over. We mentioned that. It's been an interesting one here. We are set for a good last 10 minutes. Weatherspoon here on the far side of the field. Check for that pitch to the backside of the end zone. They do find him as he cuts inside. Weatherspoon easily untouched into the end zone as he strides in. Brazina to Weatherspoon, once again connecting. Amherst Steele gets that much-needed touchdown. 9.5 minutes left to go, and they have really pulled this one to a one-possession game now. but we'll see what they do. They're going to go for that PAT. Obviously, last time they scored, they went for that 2-point conversion. They converted, made up for the blocked PAT they had earlier in the game. This one could pull it to 7 as long as it is up and good. We'll see what's going to happen for Adam Henderson, the junior kicker.
Just keep letting Weatherspoon make those plays. Feed him the ball, let him make those plays.
Here's the kick. It's up and it's good. And not only has everything been in and good from these kickers, it's been perfect. It's been right down the middle. Wonderful kicking tonight. I know the special teams hasn't been great, but I do have to say the kickers, even despite the penalties that they've been dealing with and facing, they've done a pretty good job tonight. So a shout out to the kickers. I'll tell you what, just to joke around, a bigger media member in the sense of Pat McAfee would be loving that. The For the Brand is he always gets hyped about the punters and the kickers. Giving a shout to the kickers there. He would be all excited about that.
Pat McAfee recently had his first wrestling match as well, joined the WWE.
Of course you would know that.
Not sure if you knew that.
You need any wrestling information, just come to Vince McKee.
That's right.
The man's obsessed.
Yeah, hey, it gets hits. What can I tell you?
It does get hits.
I love you. Or I love it. It's but no, McAfee's a beast for a punter. We talk about punters who had unbelievable size to them and then athletic ability.
That's true.
He got in the ring and he did great against Adam Cole. And yes, we know it's scripted. Yes, we know the outcome is determined. Got all that. You still have to do the moves. He went out there and did them. That's all I'll say. This is such a big game tonight, man. We've been running this game off internet access and mobile data. I just realized this going double barrels over here. We're taking no chances at Keon Sports.
Vince knows the moves are hard because he tries to practice them at home.
Yeah.
And that kick to Conti. Conti brings it up the middle of the field. And so the Bulldogs offense will be coming out to the 33-yard line, which is where they'll start their drive.
That return is 26 yards to the 33-yard line. Bulldog football.
Of course, Vince, your wife Emily doesn't necessarily like it when you take the kitchen chair and try to
bash her.
Try to bash with the kitchen chair trying your wrestling moves.
Man, that's why I got my 2 daughters. Wrestling dummies.
Yeah, those are your fighters for you.
Absolutely.
Back to the game. Parkowski takes up the middle, barreling forward. Parkowski, again, just being that bell cow, that workhorse from his fullback position. Tonight, gain of 7 yards, 2nd and 3. Now at the 40-yard line. Clock just hits 9 minutes. 9 minutes flat here in the fourth quarter. Ciolik, the snap, he keeps it. Fake the pitch, and that little head fake was enough. Get the defender to bite on it, and Ciolik rumbles forward for a first down. Ciolik, the guy who we see carry it sometimes he gets some big plays here and there. Tonight, I think he's done a good job reading, but he really hasn't had the opportunity to take it himself. He's done a good job of just giving it to the other guys and letting them do the work.
Very much agreed. Very, very much agreed. And this is a crucial drive in this game with 8.5 minutes to go. Olmsted Falls needs to take their time, obviously, but this is a big-time drive here for Amherst to try to get that stop, too.
42-35 is your score. The handoff up the middle. Pinchek touches it again. I'll tell you what, Pinchek has some ability. We've seen him have some big plays in past games. It's just not Pinchek's night tonight. He hasn't been able to find much space.
Right.
It's been more of Parkowski, Conti. Those guys have been the ones pulling in the big yards. Pinchek just has not been able to find that space here. Everything has been pretty limited for him.
Parkowski with the bulk of the work, as we said, but Connie getting a few touches here and there and making them count.
2nd and 8 from the 48. Here's the pass. Ciolik looking for Cooney, and that was going to be right in the hands of the defender. That was a good defensive play by Cooney. Cooney was almost playing like a defensive back there. He tried to pull that in for a catch, but he got his hands on it at the same time as the defensive back. That hits the ground for an incompletion. Charlie Ciolik saved by his wide receiver.
Yeah, Cooney did that old-fashioned play you see in flag football as a kid, the old down and in. Ran down, pattern, silence, cut in. Because I didn't even see him for a second there. I'm like, oh, my God, he's throwing it right to the Amherst Comets. And all of a sudden, Cooney just at the last second came in. Played defender, as you said.
Following that incompletion, 3rd and 8 from the 48-yard line. Conti Fiskanich actually touched the ball. Finally, we see Fiskanich. Kind of anticipated going to be Conti because we've seen him touch the ball so many times so far tonight as well. But Fiskanich finally able to touch the ball, get that first down.
Yeah, big.
We've been waiting for him.
Very big. They just have so many weapons. I mean, Michael Cando's stat sheet tonight, 2 carries, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's incredible how many weapons they have. And now they're moving Conti into motion there.
Bulldogs been perfect on their drives in the second half, looking to remain perfect. The handoff to Parkowski. Stays up, gets forward. Just tripped up, though, as he just gets past his offensive line. Short gain. Fell forward, though. Gain of 3.
And I'll say this to you, Cole. I mentioned a little bit earlier on that last Amherst drive, we have not seen any turnovers. Almost saw one there before the Cooney deflection. Right now, if there was ever going to be a turnover for Amherst, it'd be right now that they could badly use one.
Well, they need it, that's for sure. Ziolik under center. Man in motion. The handoff to Parkowski. And Parkowski dragging defenders behind him as he continues to move forward. That man does not take a loss of yardage. Now a 3rd and 2 from the 34.
And yet he's hit the 25 rush mark tonight already. 25 carries for Parkowski. He's been a workhorse.
Well, and if you were able to add up that stuff, right now, I guarantee you he's over 100 yards now as well. He's been consistently gaining yards. So, probably actually going to be approaching 150. So we'll see what his total stats are by the end of the night. That will be interesting. Here's Parkowski once again, rumbling forward. Easily picking up that first down as he bounced off to the left-hand side of his line.
Amherst knows it's coming, still doesn't have an answer right now. Soaking up some time. Now a little over 6 minutes to go with this approach. It's working for the Bulldogs.
And that's probably one of those worst things for not only the players down there, but for the coaching staff. It's like, we know what's coming, but we're struggling stopping it. Like, how are we going to stop it? So the middle linebackers, it's going to be big for them to get penetration and get through. This time, Fiskanich on that sweep, coming from the far side of the field to the near side, he's able to pick up some positive yards.
2 carries on this drive now for Fiskanich. After really just not touching it much.
2nd and 5 from the 21-yard line. Down to 5.5 minutes. Bulldogs eating away clock. This is not what Amherst wanted either. Obviously, points, the big thing, they've got to stop. But they still need clock to work with. And right now, Bulldogs eating away and doing just that.
You talk about stats. Conti, 7 carries, 77 yards.
Hand off to Parkowski. Again to the left-hand side. He slips a tackler and just goes down inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, incredible job there to hold on to the ball and take that final hit. Looked like he was kind of stumbling out of control at the very end, but an amazing run, showing some speed. We call Parkowski the big guy, but man, oh man, tonight he has shown you he's got some wheels to him. Just like we call Conti the speedster, he's shown you he's got some toughness to him. So these guys are doing it all tonight.
They are, for sure. You want to call what play you think's coming next? Because I think I can pretty much guarantee what's going to happen next.
Parkowski up the middle.
Oh, yeah. I would think so.
Not exactly stretched there, but we'll see.
Yeah, go back to the well. That bunch formation, hand off to Parkowski up the middle, pushing forward. The line moves forward. Parkowski moves forward into the end zone. Parkowski touchdown. Trifecta. I believe that is the 3rd time we've seen Parkowski in the end zone. In soccer and hockey terms, there's your hat trick.
Okay, so I talk about wrestling, but I knew you had to mix in some soccer there. You are correct. It is a hat trick. Hockey as well.
Yep. Yeah, but unlike hockey, the fields are not being the hats are not being thrown onto the field right now.
Tis. There, it keeps it at 2-score again, though. 2-score game, and there's not a lot of time left now.
We need the squeegees and the brooms to push all the hats off the field again.
Wait a second. You said personal foul penalty on both teams? Okay, they offside.
Yeah. Offsetting penalties. Yep. Well, definitely chippy, as we mentioned. 2 teams coming in, 3-1 in the same conference, trying to get their 4th win in the season. Amherst came out, kind of punched the Bulldogs in the mouth initially, but Olmsted Falls has responded. looking to continue to extend this lead with the PAT. Hold is good. Kick is good. Once again, 49-35 is your score. 4.5 minutes left to go for Amherst Steel. They've still got 14 points to make up. It's starting to get tougher.
And we're going to see some more points tonight. I think that's a sure thing. Even if Olmsted Falls gets the ball back, I think they're going to score again. I mean, I said there'd be a lot of points tonight. I don't know if I predicted this many, but it doesn't shock me by any stretch. 49-35, as you just said. Incredible. I mean, as I look down the stat sheet here, 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, 3 touchdowns in the second quarter, 4 touchdowns in the third quarter, 2 so far in the fourth, and you had to believe there's more coming.
You know, some people coming out would say, you know, just take big pass plays to the outside, get out of bounds, do that. For me, what do you have to lose? You know, in the sense of the Bulldogs, they have not actually been that strong at defending against those big plays.
Nope.
Take a shot. I would throw one deep. You know, why not? You got a big 6'4" receiver and Ty Weatherspoon. Why not pitch one down to the field to him and see if he gets open and is able to take it to the house? That could be a quick turnaround. If you only eat up, 30 seconds, less than a minute off of this drive, if they do hit a big play, that's crucial.
Weatherspoon 9 catches tonight. You just know he's headed for double digits on that. Alden still 4 catches, but he easily could have had 6 or 7.
He could have. Here's Torrey Weatherspoon. He bounces off a couple tacklers, getting to the outside, making some moves, gets hit from behind, down at the 40-yard line. Good movement. Nice run out is the best return we've seen from Weatherspoon so far here in this game. 60 yards go to the end zone for the Comets.
Not exactly a news flash for anybody, but football is a violent game. I mean, my goodness, there's been some hits tonight. For you fans out there looking for some scores, St. Ignatius leading Massillon 14-6 with 2:56 left to go in that one. Definitely a buzzsaw of the schedule this year for both those teams.
2 big programs, very notable here in the state of Ohio. That's a big game tonight. 8 seconds on the play clock. 2 receivers in the backfield with Brazina. Brazina looking to the far side of the field again. Here's this one out and overthrown once again. His intended target, Alden Steele. He's overthrown Alden Steele quite a few times here tonight.
Yeah, as I just said, a few seconds ago there, 4 catches, but it could be almost 8 or 9 at this point. Some have been overthrown, some have been just barely dropped, some have been broken up, but a ton of targets for Steele.
Well, and I think the crazy thing, but it would also make sense, it's almost like he's throwing the ball to Alden Steele and a couple of these other guys like it's Ty Weatherspoon. It's not your big speedster wide receiver. Steele's more of your prototypical slot receiver. You got to put it in that breadbasket, and then once it's in his hand, he can do some work. But you don't always want to lead him quite as much as you lead Weatherspoon. Brazina right in the hands of the defender. It's intercepted. And the Bulldogs, that honestly should close out the game. And Noah Mendez, the senior, dropped into coverage and right into his hands. I don't know if Brazina just couldn't see him, but Brazina just a strike right into the defender's arms.
It was a good interception, but me or you could have made that play. I mean, threw it right to him. And Brazina's really first big mistake of the night, and that should, I use the word should, do it.
Yeah, and it's been a really good game, high scoring. Could have honestly seen if Amherst Steel scored on that drive quickly, them come back into this game and make it even more interesting. That turnover is the crucial turnover, and that's something we haven't seen tonight is turnovers. We haven't seen interceptions. We haven't really seen fumbles either. There you have it. An interception is big for the Bulldogs, and the defense comes up big when needed.
And you sensed it was coming. Like we said, this game has seen so many plays on both sides of the ball. You knew it was just a matter of math after a while.
And off to Conti. Conti burst forward for about 2 yards. So now we're down under 4 minutes. Assume the Bulldogs offense is going to just continue to run it and take time off that clock. And they're going slow to get these plays in. I don't blame them. Take your time because you don't want the ball back in the hands of Amherst Steel because they can strike quickly.
Yeah, only 2 timeouts left for Amherst as well there.
So Parkowski, again, hand in the grass behind Ciolik, hand off to him, quickly wrapped up. But he comes down on top of a defender and stays up and rolls forward. So he is able to pick up 2. And there is a timeout by Amherst Steel. So now a 3rd and 6 when we come back from this timeout. Ball on the 29-yard line. 3 minutes and 14 seconds left to go here in this game. You're listening to Keon Sports. Cole McDaniel and Vince McKee will be right back after this timeout. Back on Keon Sports as we're concluding this game, this 4th quarter. Down to 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Ball in the hands of the Bulldogs. They've got a 14-point lead. If you just tuned in to the second half, did not hear the first half, it was Amherst Steel who jumped out to the lead. They had the lead almost the entire first half. They were up by a total of 14 points for a while. And then that margin was closed by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs took a 1-point lead at the end of the first half. Second half, Bulldogs have been able to take control, and they have looked solid here in the second. That carry, gain of a couple yards, pushing forward, going to set up a 4th and short. Under 3 minutes to go. And I would assume Amherst will use that last timeout, and they will. So there is that last timeout for Amherst Steel. I know, Vince, we're down towards the end of the game, and it's one of those things where you want to kind of wait till the very end before you kind of say a player get the game. But we'll at least mention who were kind of a couple of the guys who really stuck out on both teams for you.
Well, I'll say, and first of all, just guys, Cole mentioned if you missed the first half of this game, we have the replay of all these games on KeonSports.com. So let me do that quickly. KeonSports.com, KEE on sports.com. If you want to listen to the entire game, if you want to share that with somebody, it will be posted at some point tonight before midnight. I guarantee you that. Now on to Cole's question. On the Olmsted Falls side of the ball, Michael Kandow with 2 plays made such an impact, 48 yards, 21 yards. It's impossible not to mention him. You know how I think just how well Connie plays every time he's out there. But really, when you come to a workhorse mentality like Barkowski, it's senior night. I don't know how you can't get behind that kid. Just an amazing night overall for the Bulldogs in so many areas.
So the Bulldogs come out.
I'll tell you who my player of the game is, honestly, real quick. Weatherspoon, the receiver.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I know he'll probably be on the losing side here, but he has been fantastic here tonight. I was just going to ask you who you thought has been really solid for Amherst Steel. That pitch out to Conti. Conti's able to get it here on the near side of the field. It advances those chains. So those timeouts, all for naught for Amherst Steel. And that honestly really should be the result of the Bulldogs putting their foot down and being able to close this one out, as they're going to really be able to let the clock run now here. But as for Amherst Steel, you mentioned it, Ty Weatherspoon, really good. The one thing I do have to say for sure, Alden Steele showed up on offense as well as defense. He had a good game. Brazina had that pick, a couple overthrows here and there, but he did have a beautiful throw down here. The prettiest throw I've seen so far this year as it was dropped in the bread basket here on this near side. Parkowski up the middle, bounced it off to the left-hand side, took a couple defenders with him as he got inside the 10-yard line, now setting up a 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. We've got 2 minutes and 43 seconds left to go. 30 seconds on the play clock.
Do you take a knee here? This is a tough decision by Coach DeLuca. I think they're not going to take any knees.
I think they're going to go for it. Yeah. I think they're going to try to punch this into the end zone.
We're about to see some more points.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to make this 56 if they can.
My article tonight recapping this game is going to be long. I'm just
telling
you
so.
now. Pour some coffee, Emily.
So Vince is going to be writing until 3 a.m. this morning, and Rocco Conti is going to make it longer as there's another score. That scoring list gets larger. The pitch out to Conti. He went to the far side of the field, got in pretty easily. Nice move. 55 points, 55-35. Canava with an opportunity to make it 56. High scoring game.
No doubt about it. I mean, you just look at this entire game, and everything's swapped out. the last few seconds of the first half and the first few seconds of the second half. I mean, you just look at that, what is, I don't even know, 15, 16 seconds of gameplay, 2 scores just like that. What a difference.
Kanaba's been perfect on the night. Here's the set, the hold, the kick is up, and it's good, making it 56-35. Vince, coming into this game, we said it earlier, you said there were going to be a lot of points. What did you have in mind? What did you think was a lot of points? Like, what were you expecting the final score to be?
I figured 9 total touchdowns, which we are well past 9 total touchdowns. And I'm being dead honest when I say that. I figured, man, I never try to predict high school scores because people get really angry, but to be dead serious about it. But I did. I figured 5 touchdowns at least for Olmsted Falls and 4 for Amherst.
Yeah.
So I would set the low end, 35-28. But I just, this is a ton of points.
Yeah, it definitely is. So, I mean, your total of kind of what you expected calling it a high-scoring game was just a little bit more than what Olmsted Falls has put up individually so far in this game at 56.
I mean, 91 total points right now. Just incredible.
Well, 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go.
Let's see some more.
Yeah, let's see if we can hit that 98.
Like I said, when I was here in 2017, it was 75-42. And that was 117. Something about this field just brings the points. That natural grass, I don't know.
It does, yeah. And this is a higher scoring game than what we saw for Olmsted Falls and Avon not too long ago, but it was close. And that was a game that had a lot of points as well. Here's Torrey Weatherspoon fielding it. He bounces to the outside once again. Gets just past the 25, mark him at the 27.
I'll say this, too, as far as team scoring points, 56 is the most we've seen a team score. Although you get the feeling last week with Menor and Brunswick, I think Menor could have easily put up 56 if they didn't take their foot off the gas in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, they really did take their foot off the gas early.
Right, between the running clock in that game and everything else. But, you play a full 4 quarters with that Menor's first-team offense without any kind of running clock. I think they would have put up 56 last week. They were cruising.
3 receiver set on the far side. We've got Ty Weatherspoon here on the near side of the field for Amherst Steel. Brzezina looking to bounce back after throwing that interception on the last drive. Snap in the gun, the quick out, looking for his target. And wow! Big time hit there. Getting the outside and delivering the blow. And now we got some late penalty flags. This could be some unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm not sure what they're going to say.
He's got his helmet off and he's screaming. That was a clean hit, though, I thought. Didn't you?
I think it was a clean hit, but I'm not sure what they're going to say. We'll see what the officials say, but the strike to the receiver out there, I believe that was number 9, George Gotsis, who pulled it in. Couldn't tell because he got popped as soon as he pulled it in. It is going to be against the Bulldogs.
They might have said he celebrated after the hit. That's possible.
I thought it might have been unsportsmanlike conduct after. He might have been celebrating still standing over.
But they're not moving the ball up. Hit the brakes here. So they're moving the chains, but they need to physically move them. There we go.
Well,
yeah.
This is part.
Rule.
This is part of COVID football. It's like the center wasn't paying attention. If the officials had that, they would have been moving up. The center was like ready to get set. So again, the center is the one moving the ball. It has been beanbags. They are guiding the center where to put the ball down. Amherst Steel now moves it forward again. Probably celebration while standing over him. Hard to tell from here. Brzezina, the pass out. He finds Steele. Steele on the near side. Steele stays in bounds. He gets to the 30-yard line, spins off. They cannot bring down Steele and spins out at about the 27-yard line.
And Olmsted Falls just got away with another, what could have been 15 extra yards. That was a horse collar tackle.
It was.
Big time.
It was a horse collar tackle, but following that, basically Steele stayed up. He gained an extra 10 yards following. So, yeah, the officials did miss it, but Steele, his hard fighting, was able to gain quite a few yards after the catch. 1st and 10. We got a minute and 38 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Bulldogs really stretched out this lead here, but Amherst Steel looking to put some points up on the board, making it look like an even closer game than it was here in the second half. And now an issue with the clock, and 142 need to be on the clock. It was set at 134. The coaching staff over at our left yelling over to the scoreboard operator here on the other side of the booth. 142 is now set, and we're good to roll again. Pressure on Brzezina. He launches this high and out of bounds. So after that incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 27. Again, Cole McDaniel alongside Vince McKee. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Just a reminder, this year we brought about Keon Sports Elite. We've got another live broadcast team out there. Tonight they had Midview at North Ridgeville. We've also got beat reporters. They're covering games. They're updating scores on Twitter. So always make sure to tune into that on Fridays. 4 receiver set. Brzezina back in the gun. Having to roll. Escape the pressure from behind. He gets out, and he just launches this one out of bounds while avoiding the pressure. And that 3-man rush of the Bulldogs once again gaining the backfield. We've seen them do that a lot this season to opponents. They're doing it once again. Brzezina, not much time in the pocket at the moment. 1minute and 29 seconds left to go. Again, a 3rd and 10, 2 incompletions off of the last 2 throws.
You mentioned Keon Sports game. 24 unanswered points by Midview has made it 31-10. They are now all over North Ridgeville.
And I have to say, although Midview hadn't had a win yet, we've seen them, and they played against the Bulldogs, and they really weren't that bad of a team. They just have played some tough opponents. They've had a tough run of games, just have not been able to do it. You know, obviously, as it seems like they're going to win that one, congratulations to them as they're going to get their first win of the season. Midview, I mean, their biggest struggle has been against some of these tough teams. They've got a tall, skinny offensive line, which really doesn't match up against some of these, heftier, sturdy lines.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Sturdoc's got some talent within Sturdock, and it's just a matter of getting him some time to pass.
And so on 4th and 10, there was another incompletion. So 4th and 10, got to make something happen. Scrambling for his life and thrown into the ground. Tyler Brzezina, 4 incompletions back to back to back to back. And that one is going to end it. As we would expect, the Bulldogs will come out and take a knee, making this game a final of 56-35. 1minute and 16 seconds left. No timeouts for Amherst Steel. So this game will just continue to run down clockwise once the offense comes out. Again, the coaching staff discussing with them. We expect to see a knee taken here in Olmsted Falls.
Yep.
Which would mean the Bulldogs would be moving to 4-1. Amherst Steel would drop to 3-2. Here we are.
Big win for the Bulldogs, too, with Avon Lake coming up next week.
Yep. Pretty crucial. As that game could go either way, but Avon Lake and Avon probably are, as they are ranked, the 2 best teams in the conference. But again, I know the Bulldogs can put up a fight.
Yeah, and we saw, really the Bulldogs come within 91 seconds away from beating Avon.
Right.
And really, we've talked about it since one of the best games we've seen. Now 14-14 Ignatius and Massillon tied in that one.
Now, Vince, why don't you tell the listeners what game we're covering next week?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Just alluded to it. We got the big one. Biggest game on the schedule. It is Olmsted Falls at Avon Lake.
Yep.
Make sure you check us out. Follow us on Twitter for the link when it gets created. I'll send it out, but really just follow the website, keonsports.com. Follow us on Twitter, sports_key. And Cole, take us home, my man.
Yeah, and after that knee, that's going to run out the clock, and that's how it's going to wrap up. 56-35 in favor of the Bulldogs. What a first half. And that turnaround the second half, Olmsted Falls able to respond. I mentioned it just a couple minutes ago. Actually, just a few seconds ago. 4-1 now for the Bulldogs as they get set to face the Avon Lake Shoremen. They're going to be on the road going up to Avon Lake, trying to take care of business there as it's going to be a tough, hard-fought matchup. Amherst Steel drops to 3-2. So Amherst Steel, they got North Olmsted next week, if I'm correct.
Yeah. And just kind of playing the scheduling game, you're going to figure they're probably going to finish at 4-2.
Yeah.
Olmsted Falls at the worst will be at 4-2. But it's going to be a wild one next week, simply because of what Cole said. And it's funny because I never even thought about it until you brought it up. Will they sit guys week 6? I don't think they will. I have no idea.
And that's the thing, we don't know, and it could happen across the league. There could be other teams across the state that do that. There might be some that don't. I would assume Olmsted Falls and Avon Lake will not because of.
Play.
I think they're going to play because it's going to be a big matchup. These guys are going to be jumping at the bit, obviously, because of the schedule. There's less games in the regular season this year. These guys are going to want to play. They're going to want to make a statement. I think both teams will want to play. For that game,
there's pride on the line between those two teams every time they hook it up.
For that game, I would expect to see the starters. As for other games, we don't necessarily know what will happen. If there's not as big of implications, everybody's making the postseason. Maybe some teams do start to sit some guys and try to keep them healthy, especially if they have some slight injuries. They can still go, but it's one of those things where you might want to get them healthy. We will wait and see what happens next week with that. But we're excited for our coverage. Again, tune in to Key on Sports on Podbean. We will be bringing you a fantastic matchup between the Shoremen and Olmsted Falls Bulldogs, who will be going into that with matching records, just as we had matching records here tonight.
It's gonna be a fun one, and guys, expect a full preview of that game. I know I won't be able to help myself. I'm gonna have to write this